So we rejoin our characters, Unit 3, as they have been so called, finding themselves in a bit of a pickle. Rewinding a bit further, they arrived to a war-torn sort of monster-ravaged territory known as Enthis, where they were coming to bring total salvation. They helped some rather defenseless fishing folk, as adept as they were. They had been sort of occupied by some very bad people known as the Oath, of whom they handily dispatched. Beyond that, they set forth north to help to restore a sending spire, which is sort of a magical tower that is pivotal in the communication of the entire continent. Without these sending spires, the people of Enthis are relegated to using owls, gulls, ravens, things like that to send messages, which, as you can imagine, living in the year 2021, where you're living when you're watching this, they're not very effective. So these someone's Epson printer is going crazy.
No, it's mine, and I don't know why. I thought I had this fixed before the game started. I shut it down twice, and it just turns back on and starts beeping at me.
The funny thing about that is the really crazy thing about the world is that there's a giant meteor the size of an Epson printer that shoots down from the sky. No, where was I? So yes, Unit 3, they defeated a unit of Oath members heading north to restore a sending spire, of crucial item to bringing communication to the southern tier of Enthis. Along their way, they met up with a gnome who was from Unit 2, a unit that was presumably dropped off a bit before they were, whose unit was wiped out, and he was the sole survivor. And Unit 3 was gracious enough to allow him to join in on their siege, on their journey. Venturing through the Feather Fawn Wood, a sort of hazy, purple, low-hanging forest filled with brambles and woodland creatures that seemed to be watching them, they ventured forth, going through a strange abandoned cabin that had a strange scuffle within, and coming upon a ruins of which they were told about, looking for a research party that had come from Hokata Bay. Upon arriving on these ruins, they found a campfire, a place that looked like a group of folks had settled in, but it didn't look disturbed. However, they did see a faint glowing light and hear a dull bit of chanting from a nearby stairwell that was sort of hidden by a collapsed block. The party proceeded to investigate this stairwell, the light growing brighter, the chanting growing louder, and a large wooden door seeming to not to smash anybody, but to lock somebody in. The party advancing beyond the door, not quite having the means to disarm it, advances past the door and comes upon a large temple room where they are able to see a dark-haired, stringy, sweaty man in a large black cloak who is chanting, and without turning his head to the party who is creeping down the stairs, he cuts a rope that is nearby him, which slings up. The rope flies all the way down the temple room and past the party's head, triggering the door that they went past, and you hear it slam down behind them. The man sort of turns around. He's a gaunt. He has sort of a reddish hue to his skin, pink sort of red bags under his eyes, and he says aloud in common, unlike what he was chanting before, "I know you all like to have your meat cooked, but it appears you will have some live meat tonight." And with that, we're not going to roll for initiative just yet. I'm going to describe what you see, like the description of the room. So the room is this long temple kind of thing. Big altar on the front, just a few feet high. It's like a couple stairs. And you see these sort of nooks on the side that have these statues in them. So you know how like when you see a statue, there's like a little indent in the wall where the statue is. So like the wall is flat, and then there's like a little cut out area for the statue to be in. So you see these statues in these little cutout nooks, but some of the statues are pushed out from their nooks, and the space behind them is empty. And you guys will see this in a second on the map. But some of the statues, not all of them, are pushed out from their nooks. And the statues are of a very familiar descriptor that you had heard from Tink. And I think it was Morella who natural 20 demon devil check or something. I don't know. So
What?
these are the same devil statues that you saw at the entrance. They're these sort of spiny, spiky guys with these big barbed spears just sort of standing there. Some of them are pushed into their proper nooks where they belong. Some are pushed out and just sort of like in the room in the open. So that's what you see. And now we will roll for initiative. How are we feeling, guys? Do we feel great? Do we feel amazing?
No.
I feel awesome.
Oh,
Feel
yes.
lucky.
I rolled really well. 19.
20.
Okay, give me a sec.
Oh, write them all down now.
Why can't you do everything at once, man? Why can't you do everything at once?
Okay. So does anybody have 15 or higher?
Yes.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
Oh my
Wait,
god,
what?
that is amazing. Kelm has a natural 20 as well.
Hey.
Are you serious?
Well, natural or unnatural?
Kelm has a natural 20.
Oh, ours are unnatural.
Unnatural 20s.
Oh, you said
Unnatural.
unnatural. I thought you said a natural 20.
No.
Okay, well that changes things because Kelm is really, really slow, so you guys would have gone first. Okay, so you guys both have unnatural 20s.
Yes.
Who has the higher dex score?
I have a +3.
I have a +4.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so Anstis.
Halflings.
Shrug.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, who has between a 10 and a 15?
13.
13 for Kinsel?
I had a 19.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Don't forget about me.
Don't you forget.
You can't forget
Yeah,
about
I guess
Tink.
the rolls were so good that
Yeah.
it was like,
You're so close to being 20, but just not there.
yeah, the rolls were so good.
Damn sad. This guy's about to blow up before he even has his turn.
Well, if I had to pick a day to roll some good rolls, this would be the day. I've dropped some good rolls here on all fronts.
Nice.
Thanks.
Oh boy.
Okay. Kinsel has a 16, did you say?
13. Lucky number 13.
Okay. So that accounts for everyone there. Okay. So let us move to here.
Ooh.
So you kind of look around and you kind of so as you can see, some of the statues are sort of pushed out of where they kind of should be, and some are in their little nooks where they should be. So ahead of you, as we spoke of, you see some very unfortunate bodies hanging and sort of pierced against the wall. You see, let's see, how do I do that ping again? Okay, yeah, you see a couple of humans. You see a very unfortunate, this guy here, Fire Ganassi, who had clung to life. He doesn't look as crispy and burned as the rest. He was sort of resistant to the fire torture, but eventually you can only spend so much time getting literally cooked. And then at the far end, to your all right, you see the large horned minotaur, which you were asked to find by the minotaur woman Zosa in town. You can confirm his whereabouts at this point. He is as good as roast beef at this point.
Oh no.
Oh, I thought
That's so sad.
I thought you implied last time that they were still alive.
Yeah, but we took a week to get into action, so
I implied it. I did imply that, but you couldn't see very well.
So they're all dead?
Made me so
They're
sad.
all cooked.
Is
No.
the fire guy? Do we recognize him?
This guy?
The fire Ganassi.
Oh, the Fire Ganassi? No, this is a full-grown man. He's not the.
He's not the brat that ran away.
No, he's not the kid. He's this is a full-grown man. He looks the worst because his skin is still kind of intact, whereas the others are sort of just black and crispy.
Ew.
He's like still rare.
Oh.
Is the
What's worse is I'm getting very vivid images of this. My mother was a fire marshal for years. I'm getting very vivid images, and it's not fun.
gross? Is the Minotaur the? You might have just mentioned this, and I'm sorry. Is the Minotaur the? Do we recognize him from the husband on the missing poster?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It's hard to like make out his face,
Just too
but
far.
you know that Minotaur are not quite so common, and you know that there's a Minotaur as a part of the party, so it's kind of easy to put that together. But
Plus,
Dang,
we
I felt
found
so
that
smart.
picture of his wife.
yeah, when you dug through the backpacks,
Oh, yeah.
one of them had a journal that had a picture of Zosa,
Zosa.
his wife.
Rip.
I don't look forward to telling her about this.
So that's the landscape. That's where that's the way things have gone. And your big old feathered friend is gonna start things off. He's gonna just bolt straight ahead,
Yep.
ready to fight, and he's gonna take a nice crossbow shot at this guy. So he just runs ahead at his normal speed and fires off a shot, and the shot sort of sails past his hair and just goes into the fiery grates past him. Next thing that happens is behind you,
Oh no.
Oh,
like
God.
near where the door was. Imagine the sound of like a big wet towel dropping on like a tile floor. You hear that kind of slowly like plopping down the stairs, just like
Like repeatedly, not like just one and done. Like we're
No.
hearing it repeatedly. Yeah. Oh God, no! I don't want to be at the back anymore.
That brings us to Anstis.
Okay. I don't like that. But I am going to cast Bless on Kelm, Mira, and Kinsel.
Okay. I'll put little notifiers on them.
Okay. And you guys can add a D4 to an attack roll or saving throw. And it lasts for up to a minute for me.
Good to know.
Can everyone see those little notifiers? I always forget what people can see and what people can't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay. Anything else?
I'm going to take a step in this direction.
Okay, sure. That will bring us to Mirella.
Can I move past Tank and Kinsel? Like, since they're
Yep.
in my... Because they're friendly allies, so I can move
Yep,
past
you can
them,
move
right?
through, yeah. You can move
That's
through
5, 10, 15.
your friends. Tink's
Right.
like,
I'm
he makes
sorry.
room.
Well, I'm
Makes room for
small.
you.
You can probably just jump over me.
Hey! Just do like a hopscotch thing? No. All right,
Just do like a leapfrog.
Yeah!
Use his shoulders to get past.
No. I am not strong. That would not go well. What was I about to say? Oh, yes, I'm attacking. That's what I'm doing. I'm
Okay.
firing at the creepy, greasy guy. I'm firing at Severus Snape.
Okay, sure.
Sure. And I can add a D4, you said?
Yes.
15, 16, 17, 18. 18?
Yep, you hit.
Great. Good to know. And that is a D8, right? Okay. 10 piercing damage.
Okay.
Nice.
So you fire an arrow across the room
Oh boy.
and into this man who is not... He is actually not even fully turned to even acknowledge you yet.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Technically, I had advantage on that. It does. Should I roll to see if I get a 20?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
All right. I have advantage because he hasn't gone yet. No, I did not. Okay, cool. Just checking. Keep going.
Just keep it as it was. So yeah, he hasn't turned to acknowledge you guys just yet. But this arrow, he sort of like... It hits him like almost squarely in the spine. It looks like the kind of injury that should paralyze somebody. He just has an arrow sticking squarely out of the back of his spine, and he sort of turns to you all and just sort of gristles his teeth. He's like, and now it's his turn.
Oh no!
He looks really bad though. He looks as bad as you can look and not be paralyzed.
Oh, good to know.
Dang.
So he turns around and where's my... He is going to see what Anstis has done. Maybe get a little inspiration from it.
Oh no.
And he's also going to cast a little bless.
A what?
A little bless on some,
dear.
on someone. Yeah, who knows who he's casting it on? Could be
Nope.
someone. Could be anywhere. So yeah, 3 creatures within 30 feet are blessed,
Ugh. Creepy.
and he's also going to use a bonus action to cast Sanctuary upon himself.
Mm.
Mm,
Mm.
I
So-
would have done that if I had more spell slots.
So now we come to old Tinkerson Finn.
Okay.
That's his full name, right?
It is.
Is it really? I was just kidding.
No, it's not Tinkerson, but that's awesome, though. It could be. All right, Tink's going to go up here. And then I'm going to cast Ray of Frost.
Okay.
So, let's see here. It says make a ranged spell attack. Okay. 12?
Yep, you got him.
Sweet.
Well, he has.
Oh, wait.
He has Sanctuary.
Yeah, I just remember that.
Gotta make a wisdom saving
I don't
throw.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You gotta make a wisdom saving throw. Otherwise, that won't go through.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sanctuary, man.
I didn't know. I've never even heard of that spell.
Need
So
more
wisdom
spell
saving
slots.
throw?
Yep.
Oh, this
Wouldn't
is
it
going to
be
be rough.
great if we had more spell slots? It would
Would
be
be
you-
great.
amazing.
Are you the type-
Sanctuary, everybody.
Oh, nice. I rolled well. I rolled a 19.
Hey.
Good
Okay.
job.
Yes.
Goes through.
Okay. Sorry.
All right.
No, what were you gonna say?
No. I was making sure my mic wasn't screwed up. I was curious if he was the type of gnome that had advantage on magic saves. I don't remember which gnome that is, but
Oh, I do.
All gnomes.
Yeah.
All gnomes have advantage on
Okay.
checks
I do.
against. I think it's charisma, intelligence, and wisdom saving throws against magic, but only saving throws.
Yeah. That's a great reminder, though, because I totally wouldn't have thought of that. So, let's see. I rolled well. Total of 11 damage.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
And then
This is a
also
cone of cold.
Ray of Frost.
Ray of Frost.
Oh.
So then his movement's
Is there even a
reduced
cone of cold, or
by...
is that just wow?
I don't...
there is a cone of
See,
cold. Yeah.
I think Dragon Age when I think Cone of Cold.
Hmm.
Or Dairy
Yeah.
Queen.
Right.
You gotta go to Dairy Queen to get a cone of
cone
cold.
of cold dairy. Goodness.
Yeah.
So I don't think
Okay.
he's going to move, but his movement speed's reduced by 10 until his next turn.
Sweet.
Okay, so you what does the Ray of Frost look like when Ting casts it? Is it just the signature thing, or is there a special way he does it?
Imagine very similar in the way that it... I guess I kind of like the cone of cold idea from like a vintage like WoW scene, but rather than like actually being like ice and like bluish, grayish, whitish, it's gonna be more like bile, like green, and like green and brown.
Okay, so Tink raises his hand, and you feel like a cold kind of breeze drift off of him as these sort of shards of green, strange, cold bile shoot out from his hand. And they just they hit this guy in like a very unsightly way, like just like in the cheek and in the eyeball. And you see like one of his eyes kind of roll up, and he sort of like melts down into a puddle, just sort of like a puddle of blood and shame. And and with his last kind of breaths, he says, "I was only a vessel. My pets will still feast upon you." And then he kind of barfs up his own guts.
Ooh.
Mirella just says, "Excellent shot, Tink."
Well, thank you.
Yeah, this guy is he's a pool of blood
Gross.
and slime and
I'm
badness.
melting. I'm melting.
Well, that guy wasn't so tough.
I think we're about to get our asses handed to us, man.
Tig, did you hear what he said?
Have some optimism.
Nope. Can't.
Okay. So, from behind the statues that are pushed out, you sort of feel it almost sounds like the cracking of like lettuce. You see these figures sort of emerge from behind, sort of breaking out of this sort of camouflage carapace that they've been like sort of sitting in, or this guy anyway. And he sort of lurks out from behind the statue, sort of flips beyond it, sort of feasting, or like he's sort of foaming at the mouth, sort of like scrounging at Kelm. And he, let me just get this over here. He has these guys look like are, imagine an alligator with sort of a snub nose, sort of a gray alligator that walks on 2 feet with long claws and sort of like a big fin coming up off its head. Just sort of gray, slimy alligator man creature. Very, very spiky. Very. You don't want to cuddle with this guy. And he looks very fast, and he's about to just slash at Kelm with all of his might. Let's see.
How do you ping on roll 20 again?
You hold down your mouse.
So did he
Over
come
the
from
spot
here?
if you want to.
Or
Yep.
you just hold on? Okay.
Yeah.
You got to be on the arrow at the top left.
Oh, did you not see that? Worked for me.
No, we saw it. It
Yeah.
didn't. We saw a little arrow because you're still on the ruler instead of on the arrow.
The actual arrow. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
I know where he
you're
came
good.
from.
So he slashes at Kelm with his first attack, and Kelm sort of raises his cast iron cauldron, and he just sort of scrapes it. Kelm sort of like, he sort of like spits and knocks it off. He does his second attack, and Kelm is not quite prepared, and he sort of gouges him underneath the cauldron, sort of 4 pointy claws, sort of just stabbing him straight into the gut. Takes a good bit of damage. And his third attack.
He has a third. Oh, fun. Okay.
No.
You didn't roll a nat 20, did you?
I did roll a nat 20.
No.
I rolled a nat 20 against Kelm last time, too.
You need to stop doing that.
DM gods wanted me to die. Okay, so...
Oh no.
Okay, so it takes another strong bit of damage. Almost immediately, this sort of gator, this gray, slimy, dead-looking gator kind of guy has just popped out from behind the statue very suddenly. And it's just like gutted your friend Kelm, who is supposed to be, even though you guys know he's just a simple cook, he has just he's had his belly pretty much just uppercut. He's been, has 8 fang-sized holes just straight into his belly.
Oh no.
And he looks pretty sad. He looks like...
Is he still up?
He's up. He's still up. He looks, though, like he might go to the great kitchen in the sky.
Oh no.
So he looks pretty bad.
I hate not having spells yet.
I hate only having 2.
That brings us to our druid, Kinsel.
Okay, you had told us there was like a slop coming from behind us. Is there anything behind me?
Not that you can see. Okay, we'll make a perception check, actually. You can do that as a free action.
Okay. Let's do that. Not too bad. 21.
Oh, that's really good. So you actually you look up the hallway, and you can't see much, because remember, the light was coming from down here, and upstairs it's kind of just unlit. But you kind of catch a glimpse off of a random sort of reflective stone, and you can see coming around the corner another very similar creature to the one that just kind of gutted your friend. And your knowledge of monsters combining with the sounds that they would make give you that idea.
Okay. Crap. I think I'm gonna focus on that one if I can. Am I able to make an attack against him?
You're not able to make an attack against him unless you move up.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna move in this direction. As I'm moving, I say, "Get out of the hallway," and then I will hit this one with frostbite.
Okay.
So he actually has to make a Constitution saving throw, I believe. Yes.
Okie doke. He gets a 17.
He succeeds. No effect.
Wop wop.
At all?
Yeah, it's a cantrip. So
Okay.
if it's a fail, no effect.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
That brings us back to the top of the round. Your old pal Kelm. He has not much to do, except he is going to use. He's going to use his whatchamacallit?
Second wind.
Yeah. Sorry, new fighter here, guys. I'm just. Yeah. So I don't know. He doesn't have a potion, so. What is it? 2D something.
It's 1d10 per your fighter level. 1d10 plus your fighter level.
All right, so 1d10 times 10. Didn't tell you guys yet, but Kelm is no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what happens. Second wind. 1d10 plus 1. Let's go. Okay. So Kelm sort of stabs his tenderizer into the stone, sort of puts his hand upon it, and sort of like pulls himself up, and he actually looks really great. It's like somehow his feathers sort of like fixed his own belly or something. But yeah, he pulls himself up, he gives the old tenderizer the old spin, and he's ready to fight yet again. And he gives the old cowboy hat tip. He's feeling pretty good. He's also gonna action surge, try and blast this guy. Give him the old what for with the old tenderizer.
Everything at once.
Sure, why not?
Use it all.
So he makes a swing at this guy, and as he swings, the gator is just super fast, and
he has bless.
Oh, he does have bless. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's a
can add
D4.
You
Yeah.
can add a D4 to
I
it.
don't know. He still misses.
It's not going to help. Okay.
Aw.
Thank you for the reminder, though. I totally did forget that. He still misses, and it doesn't look completely foolish just because he just kind of picked himself up. So, he's back up on his feet, and he took a swing, trying to miss. The next thing you see is not entirely pleasant.
Oh, great.
You've got another sort of gator-like gray, fanged, spiky monster slurping down the hallway just with these big, cloppy feet that just... And it's just sort of lurking down the hallway. And it's going to come to here. And it's going to roll. It's going to roll a d4 and decide what it wants for lunch. It wants Anstis.
That's fine.
Oh, no.
That's fine.
So it's going to start to just unleash claws upon her.
Okay. Do your best.
Just
Or worse.
slashing. You've seen a similar bit of attacking coming from the center of the temple area. It's got something. Does a 17 get you?
No.
Yay.
16 doesn't get you.
No.
Wow.
6 definitely doesn't get you.
No.
Yes!
I'm good, guys.
So this thing, you see it just kind of like, it's just furiously just like clawing at Anstis, and she's just like behind her shield, like super quickly, sort of like putting her shield. And it's not just so easy to put your shield up and just take the attacks, because you saw Kelm try to do that. He put his shield up, the guy attacked him once, hit the shield, and then he took 2 underneath the shield, and Kelm was like, "Ah."
She's Wonder Womaning it. She's like,
I'm
Anstis
small.
has learned.
I'm small. I'm dexterous. I can like my shield is a buckler. I can move it around. I'm good.
Yeah, Anstis has maneuvered her shield artfully, avoiding all of the claws.
I
Bravo.
make noise when I move, but you can't hit me.
It's very impressive. On to Marilla.
oh, hooray. Okay. I thought Ants just came before me.
Oh yeah,
She did.
I do.
She hasn't gone
I
yet.
haven't gone.
Yeah, she needs to
Oh
go.
yeah,
She just got
yeah.
attacked,
Anstis,
but she
Anstis,
hasn't gone
yeah.
yet.
Her
That was
her
super
defense was so
awesome,
outrageous
but-
that it felt like a turn.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
that
yeah.
awesome, but I still gotta attack it.
You still got to kill this guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like someone who wants to be friends with you.
I'm going to stab at it, two-handed with my spear.
Sure.
Okay. Oh. Wait, no, I could reroll ones.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, the
Halfling.
halfling walk.
Halfling.
Halfling.
I love it.
Okay, come on. And it's a 2.
Oh, no.
I could. Yeah, I'm gonna use my quirk for this.
Ooh.
I get to reroll it again.
You can reroll like a 1 through a 5, right?
Yeah.
Once a day.
Yeah. Or I can have someone else do it, but I'm doing it.
Nice.
Do it.
Okay, that's better. That's a 20, not natural.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay.
You found purchase.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a 6 damage.
Okay. What weapon are you using?
Spear.
Ooh, spicy. So, Anstis pulls off a pretty sick combo here, sort of defending with her shield and sort of taking her spear off her back, like flipping it forward and just jabbing it straight into this guy, mounting a pretty strong defense from this guy who's just come from behind down the stairs. And she has found a good bit of purchase, and just straight through the ribs. It snarls at her like, and it sort of grabs onto the spear, like trying to yank it out. And now it's Marilla.
There we go. Okay. I'm going to move back here. Just put myself in the corner. And I'm going to fire at the one that is attacking Amstis.
Okie doke.
All right. 40, 56, 70, 18. 18?
Yep.
Great. Why do I always forget what I roll? Okay, there we go.
You also have bless if you didn't add it.
Oh, I didn't
Two.
add it. But it
Okay.
hits anyway, right? I didn't add it.
It's up to you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you hit.
No.
It's a 21 with bless, but I mean I hit
Okay.
it anyway. I hit it anyway. 7,
Yeah, you don't
8,
need
9,
the you don't need the
10.
bless
Okay.
for that.
10 piercing damage to the one attacking Anstis.
Okie doke. So Anstis is sort of doing her thing, sort of like dipping and ducking with her shield, and then sort of skewering him with her spear. And as you sort of, Anstis reaches up to sort of conk him out with your shield is like spattered with blood as an arrow just comes straight through the back of its head and through its eye. And
Yay.
you're sort of like, for a second, you're like, what the hell? And then you sort of look to the side, and Marilla's there with her bow drawn, and she's sort of looking over at the fight.
And Tink's
And,
really close, so he's going to lean in and go,
Nice shot. Thanks.
No problem.
And this guy just turns into mush.
Hooray!
Yay!
Tink, it was your turn, so there you go.
Sweet. Do these statues look heavy?
They actually don't. They actually look like almost like faux statues. They're like hollowed out from the underside.
Okay. I think Tink's gonna like look around the room and kind of like squint his eyes at the statues. He'll look at Merlin and go, "Nice shot," and then he's gonna just run over this way, and then I'm gonna try and push the statue back in.
Sure, yeah. Make a strength check.
You said it was light,
It is light.
but I am Tink.
No, it has nothing to do with Tink. Statue
Minus
is light.
2. Nice. 17.
Okay, so Tink goes. He makes a very intelligent choice to investigate the statues, understanding that they look a little bit lighter than they should. But for whatever reason, it is not adhered to the ground, but the statue does not move. Something seems to have, when you pushed it, it moved like a couple inches, but something's there behind it.
Oh no.
Something a little stronger than Tink.
Like walking up to it. Well, not walking, but like briskly moving towards it. Tink thinks it's going to be really light, so he's like kind of cocky in the way he's going to push it in. He's like, and like pushes it, and it just like barely moves, and he looks back at Morella and gulps.
Oh, I'm just like,
And now,
Wait, can I do like a perception, like a passive perception? Can I see anything?
try
Oh,
to roll.
dear.
No, you can't. Not a passive, but you can roll an actual perception check.
roll high.
No, not like this.
No.
6.
No.
You don't see anything. It looks like the space should be empty behind the statue, but you hear a familiar-ish sound, like the cracking of lettuce, like you heard before. Something concealed was behind this space.
Oh, why didn't I try and mage hand push it?
Something concealed was behind the space. So, speaking of, as you try to push it, you see the familiar form that you saw come from behind one of the other statues, and it sort of breaks out of this sort of stealth carapace, sort of resisting. Like you see two clawed hands come out, sort of resisting to push the statue back, and it proceeds to vault over the statue and come towards you.
Damn! Those things can vault?
They can vault. And it's going to make some attacks. And remember, oh shoot, I should have told you guys this before. Morella had a D8 inspiration going into the day from her singing,
Yeah.
and you had your mage armor cast
Yes.
going into the day.
Oh, I didn't forget that.
Yeah, I wrote down my inspo.
Okay, just wanted to, just in case. And just like attacked Anstis, just like attacked Kelm, this thing just feverishly goes to attack Tink. 14?
Splits.
14 splits?
Yeah, are we doing that? I can't remember. You
No,
said
we're doing traditional style. So
14's full damage.
Met AC is a hit.
Meat to beat.
Damn.
And if you're at home, and don't do a meat speed joke, just don't. Okay.
The fact that you said it means it's going to be done.
3 damage to old Tink. He's attacking more. An 8 doesn't get you, right?
Misses.
A 19 on the roll. A 20.
no.
A 24.
That one hits.
Oh no.
4 damage. Are you down? Are you down?
Tink looks horrendous. He looks pretty bad.
Oh no.
So you guys have seen, you've seen Tink walk up to a statue, try to push it in, met with resistance. The creature vaults over it and just slashes him up. Kinsel, it's to you.
Meta question. I noticed he had cast 2 spells earlier. Are you allowing a spell as a action and bonus action in one turn?
I think that Sanctuary is a bonus action.
Yeah, well, but I could cast Healing Word and Frostbite in one turn, right?
Yes.
Is that good? Cool. I will.
I think that as Healing Word goes up in level, you can only cast it as level 1 in bonus action. But for now,
Yeah.
it's a good play.
Okay. Let me double check here. 60 feet, so I don't even have to move. But I am going to move. I'm going to move right here. I will start by casting Healing Word at Tink. So that'll be 1d4.
You're my best friend.
So 6 HP. 6 HP back to you.
Oh yeah, baby.
And then I'm going to cast Thunder Wave.
Yes.
Oh
In
wow.
a 15-foot square, so that'll be basically I'm the end. Deet, 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 deet. Like that.
Cool.
Nice.
So he will have to,
Thunderwave.
he will have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
And he to
Let's see what we got. I don't think that a 4 will cut it.
It will not. So he takes 10 points of force damage.
Yes.
Nice.
He's pushed away 10 feet.
Ooh.
Directly away from you or in a direction of
Yeah.
your choice?
Directly away from me.
Okay.
Right into Kelm.
So like there?
That was my thinking.
Okay, yeah. That's fine. That works for me.
All right.
Attack of opportunity.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Comes up, he's got his tenderizer. He's ready to tenderize some gators.
Yes.
The spell was too powerful. He got pushed back a little too quick. Kelm couldn't quite make the attack happen, but he tried.
He has Bless.
Ooh.
Will
Okay.
it help this time?
It will help this time, and it does help this time.
Oh,
Yay!
God bless.
So
good. Thank Farlong.
it looks to you all like Kelm reaches out, swinging for this guy who's being blasted. Kinsel's like, huzzah! And he's like, and you see this gator guy getting blown back. And Kelm reaches out to swing at him, and it looks like a clear miss. But you see like this sort of mystical, magical extension of his meat tenderizer that sort of gives it the extra inch that it needs to connect with this guy as he's getting blasted back. And it just catches him on the face as he goes, and it just like blasts his whole face off. And as he's pushed back by Kinsel's magic, he's just like, and he just sort of gets, it's just like a combination of attacks that was too much for him. He got blasted back, hit by a meat tenderizer and a bit of magic on top of it. It was too much. He got completely obliterated.
The old Wombo combo.
Dat bless.
That blesto.
So that was his turn. We are back to old Kasago Kelm, who is going to, of course, rush in to this guy. And he's gonna try and just grab onto him and yank him away if he can. He doesn't like the look of giant gator clawed man just thrashing on on his little buddy here. Okay, there's Callum's strength check. He's not quite strong enough to pull it off amazingly, even though he sort of towers upon these guys. These are probably 5 foot tall creatures, and Callum easily could just kind of grab him there. Just he's a little too slick for him, so he kind of does the classic like shoot, and the gator creature kind of just ducks out underneath, not able to grab onto him. Callum just sort of stands there and sort of looks at Tink like. Anstis.
Okay. How does Tink look?
He looks pretty good.
You're good now?
Yeah. After that
Okay.
heal, he kind of has a smile, and he's revigorated by Kelm joining him.
Only a couple bloodstains.
Yeah. It's pretty good. His beard's a little messed up.
Okay. Let me. Oh yeah, I can do that. I am going to. Where is it? I'm going to do Sacred Flame on the thing.
On the guy attacking
Yeah.
your gnome friend.
Yeah, he needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okie doke. Does. I think this will probably be a close one.
Marie, can you read that spell too?
Sacred Flame?
Yeah.
Flame-like radiance descends on a creature that you see within range. The target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw, or take 1d8 radiant damage. The target gains no benefit from cover for the saving throw.
Sweet.
Does a 14 do the trick?
Yes, my DC is 13.
Damn.
Shoot.
So close.
Feels gator, man.
Come on.
It's so slippery.
Anything else for Anstis?
Everyone else is looking pretty okay, right? Like just glancing around.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
Callum
Far,
looks
so
good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna look a little ashamed.
Oh,
Now it is back to Mirella.
wonderful. I'm shooting at the one that was attacking Tank.
Sure. Have at him.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19.
Yep, you got him.
Wonderful. All right.
Yay.
6, 7, 8. 8 piercing damage.
Okay, so from the corner of the room, next to a very well lit sort of torch area, Mirella is sort of just scoping out the area, fires a well placed arrow going over Kelm's shoulder, but not disrupting Tink at all either. Just sort of straight into sort of like the heart, shoulder, meat area of this creature, hitting it and wounding it grievously.
Hooray.
Now it is to Mr. Finn.
Nice. For a second, I forgot I went before this gator guy.
He looks pretty roughed up.
Very cool. Inspired by the arrow, the joining of Kelm, and then the nice heal from his friend Kinzel over there, he is going to just touch a spell book on his belt and close his eyes and then recast Ray of Frost again. Natural 20.
Yes!
No defending against that.
All right, sweet. 15. And then this one, he's just going to kind of keep his eyes closed and then kind of the same image, the bile, the green, the brown, the poopy.
So this kind of just looks like I don't know if any of you guys have seen, and I always hate to do like anachronistic like references, but this kind of manifests as Tink just sort of puts his hand out almost like on to the face of this creature, but just not quite. And just almost like pretty much explodes his face. Just in a huge blast of frozen green, like weird cold energy. And he just gets his face exploded. And it's pretty messy.
And
some of it goes onto Kelm. But it's all good. It looks cool.
And then Tink is gonna like kind of step up onto the messy, goopy corpse, and then just as a free action, point at the other statue and say, "Beware of that one." And then after he says that, he's gonna kind of like slip on the goop just a little bit, not too much, and like hope no one notices.
He doesn't like fully fall in the guts.
I mean, if you want me to roll for it.
No.
Yeah, thank you. He has some honor. He has dignity.
Okay. You gather that there are no more creatures, but it's hard to tell.
Okay, can I do some kind of a check to see if I know what kind of creature this is?
Yeah.
Great.
What kind of a way do you want to think about them in a historical way, like your learnings, or do you want to think about them as they relate to nature, or do you want to think about them just like in a straight up perception, like intuit kind of thing? How would you like to do it?
Either perception or history. Like, have I read about this in a book, or is there something that I recognize about it?
Your,
kind of thing.
Your choice.
All right, I'll go with perception.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, there we go. And 40, 50, 60, 17. 17.
The creatures you don't really recognize. They just look strange and sort of they look like half formed and strange. They don't look like natural. You could gather that, and they don't seem to belong in this ruins either. They just look like half-formed, unnatural things that you haven't seen, but they don't seem to belong here.
All right, so they seem out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do they share any resemblance with the actual statues themselves?
They share no resemblance at all with the devils.
Curious.
Do we have a Marie? Oh, I see you have the...
Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I see you have the mute thing on.
Yeah. Are we still in initiative, or can we move?
You're out of initiative.
Wonderful.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the guy that we killed.
Start looting them.
What?
Not that
No,
they probably have.
Guys, he said he was a vessel. That kind of makes me nervous. So I think we should check him out and maybe burn the body.
It wouldn't hurt to check him out.
We are going to stay on the map for some reason.
Okay, I'm gonna move to the body.
Oh boy.
But yeah, we're out of initiative.
Do.
And I will move
Wait
up
a minute,
to this.
that's too much move speed. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, I have little halfling feet.
Okay, you want to check out the summoner dude.
Yeah. What am I
Roll
using?
an investigation check.
Okay. Oh, I can re-roll that.
Is that another one?
Yes,
Oh my god.
I can re-roll it.
Wow.
Hey,
You were meant to be a halfling.
I was. Oh, okay, that's good. 19.
Okay. The investigation is simple. It's as simple as Anstis kind of flopping the body over onto its face from its face down point. It's just kind of that classic, like, the man is unsightly. He's riddled with arrows and scorching shit. Like, he has like this weird, like, his skin is like kind of fried from the weird ray of frost thing. He doesn't look like a body that you can put in an open casket funeral. He kind of flops over, and he has a very simple satchel around his waist that you're easily able to just look at. Other than that, he has just a simple black coat and pretty much no clothing. You're actually kind of shocked by the lack of clothing that he has on when you flip him over.
Okay, but he doesn't have any ritual markings, nothing. Looks like he's gonna have like an alien baby burst out of him.
He's pretty much just a man.
Okay.
Check the satchel.
But yeah, he does have a satchel kind of rigged up
I do
like
that.
Over his shoulder. Are you going to be checking this alone?
I feel like that's a loaded question, man.
I mean, did anyone come up with me? I said we should check this guy out.
You're going to check it alone.
I told everyone we should check this guy out. I don't know.
Right.
That's up to them.
I was verifying that there was nothing in this little catty corner.
You're going to check this corner?
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's see that investigation check first on this body.
Can I help?
Marie? What do we got?
We've got a bag.
A bad?
A bag.
Oh no! What's the What did you roll in the investigation? Oh, you already rolled that. So you have in the bag 15 gold. This is going to go directly into your pocket. You have a dagger, just kind of a crappy dagger, the dagger he used to cut the rope that you saw at the beginning. And you have a weird diagram kind of map thing written on thick parchment.
Weird diagram / map. Got it.
The map diagram looks pretty... It looks pretty badly drawn, but it does bear a vague resemblance to the very room you're in.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well, Anstis is sort of looking through, and Tink is there as well. They're sort of looking through this guy's belongings. Kinsel, you're looking behind the statue. Did you roll an investigation check?
I can do that real quick. We have got a 13. No, 14. 14.
Okay, so you kind of slip your way past the statue, same as like the beasts were kind of doing as they were coming out of these areas. And you sort of look at the sort of alcove that the statues were in, and you sort of put your hand on the wall, and a door sort of goes, and there's sort of an area beyond it. But it's dark and hard to see.
I found a passageway.
Well, I found a map. So,
Does the map say where the passageway leads to? Does it show a room beyond?
well, it's pretty crappy. Does the map have anything like that?
Make an investigation check to look at the map.
Is it really drawn that badly?
It's drawn badly.
Oh god, so bad. 15.
Okay, you guys still have the map up, right? The battle map?
Yeah.
So you look at the map, and you do see, very simply, you see that there's a staircase that goes out. You see that there's sort of a zone at the front, and then you see these sort of 4 nooks. And behind this nook on the map, you see a little room. And behind this nook, you see another little room. So the one that Kinsel's at has a little room behind it on the map, and so does this one.
All right.
Okay. Hey guys, there's 2 little rooms, one next to Kinsel and one over by Kelm.
I suggest we proceed with caution.
Yeah, check for traps along the way, please.
Yes.
And someone grab a torch. I can't see.
Oh.
Kelm will grab this torch that you see here. Go into this room.
Oh, he's just going. All right.
He's just going.
He's
Okay.
going.
Kelm, wait, check for traps.
Traps.
Oh, he's gone.
He's not
He's
very
gone.
smart.
Oh
Tink's
dear.
joining the fun on
Yeah.
on this side. Kinsel, what do you want to do? Or what does anyone else want to do with regard to this?
If I don't see a light approaching me and I'm already standing in a doorway, I will attempt to light my own torch.
There's a
Sure.
torch next to you.
Is there? Well, I think technically I'm
15
like
feet away.
sitting. Yeah. I was sitting in the nook. I'll get out. Fine. I'll get out of the nook, and I will go and grab a torch. I will see that they're all heading in this direction, so I'll cross the floor to go to them.
Okay. We're gonna leave the map.
All right.
Okay.
So the room that are Tink and Morella coming into this room, or is it just like, what do you see in there, Kelm kind of thing?
I think Morella's staying just slightly out, and she's got an arrow notched. It's pointed at the ground, but she's ready.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Tink's gonna just follow boldly.
Okay. So Kelm and Tink enter into a chamber befitting of the one on the diagram that Anstis has. And hanging inside, it's an empty room, so just a small little chamber. Does Tink, do gnomes have dark vision?
Yep.
Okay, so we're fine to go in here. Hanging inside are these skeletons. A large, giant skeleton, a body, a spine, rib cage, long clawed hands, a spiked skull, and these massive wings. And they're like fastened to the wall. And on the floor are sort of smaller versions of these same skeletons, just laid around. At like kind of at its feet almost.
What do you see?
A bunch of skeletons.
Can you tell of what kind? Are they human?
Chad, what do they look like?
They make a quick perception check.
13.
Okay. These skeletons are slightly haunting to Tink, as they not only reflect the statues that have been adorning these ruins, but they look very similar to the creature that had attacked his party.
Morella, they look just like the devils.
Devils. I'm gonna start to like easily make my way in. Still got my bow notched. Still got that going. Just gonna make my way in and look. Huh. That is unnerving.
It is indeed.
Ugh.
And that's all that's in this room.
There's nothing else.
It's literally a small circular stone room with a big winged skeleton and then a bunch of little skeletons around on the floor.
The big one is like pinned up on the wall.
Yeah, the big one's pinned up on the wall. The others are just like laid there. Like you could like sweep them with your foot and the bones would just go.
How big is it? Like the
The
big
little
one?
ones or the big one?
The big one.
It's like 6 feet high with like a 6 foot wingspan.
Could I make some sort of intelligence check to see if there's anything ritualistic about the way that they're laid out?
Yeah, you can.
This will go so well because I'm so smart. Oh, no. No, that's a 4. That's a 4.
Those are bones,
Um,
Dean.
I'm the smartest.
Morella may think she had seen this as like a form of decoration where people use bones and feathers to kind of adorn their certain huts and things, but that's about all you got.
It may be an ossuary. We don't know.
Literally no one knows.
Just no one knows.
Yeah, that's all that's in that room.
Great. Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Tink's gonna turn
Kinsel.
around and scutter back
Yeah.
out.
Oh, my neck. Oof.
You have fetched the torch from the wall, right? And you're moving into the other room.
Sure, let's do it.
You see a giant monster that kills you. No, I'm just kidding. You see, not that you would know, a similar sized room, equally blank, except for a single chest at the back.
Mm.
Very simply, and it's set out on like a bit of cloth.
I found a box. I yell from the room.
I was in the back towards where Kinsel was, so I'm gonna like follow after him into the room.
Okay, sure.
As she's approaching, if I could look it over, does it appear to be like locked, or
Check it for traps.
does it appear to be locked?
Do you want to check it for traps?
Sure, let's check it for traps. What do you want? Investigation?
Yep.
9.
With all your modifiers.
I have a +1 modifier. I rolled an 8.
The thing looks ready to go. Like there's not even a lock on it.
Oh, no.
Anstis is also going to check it for traps because she doesn't trust this place. Looks bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you? There's no traps.
18.
Anstis like walks in and like shoves Kinsel aside, sort of
I do.
pointing out an obvious trap. There's a couple of like holes in the wall on either side of the chest that would come out and sort of
Oh my god.
skewer whoever tries to open it.
Too good.
Dude, I said check for traps. Did you even try?
I looked at the chest. There was nothing there.
You didn't like look to the side a little?
What? I thought that was decoration.
No. That's death. That's death.
Oh. I get excited.
So yeah, you do see the trap. You see the trap, but it's still there. I mean,
Okay.
still like
There's no like switch right by the door. or
there's no
something?
switch. There's just a chest and then 2 spikes that kind of may jut out upon opening the chest.
If we don't see any obvious triggers around the chest, I'll be like, perhaps we just move it back.
You don't see
What?
any obvious triggers. I'm going off of Anstis's check.
I don't trust it. We should find a way to disarm it. Hey guys, there's a chest, but there's also a lot of traps. Look for something to disarm it.
Lots of traps. I only see one. Where are the others?
There are Anstis. You actually do know that there's based on your check, there are literally no other traps in the area. Just 2 holes in the wall that have these spike shootout things. So you can feel confident knowing that that's
That
like
is-
the
that is-
only thing.
2 traps. That is too many. Too many.
A trap, you say?
What would we roll to figure out how to disarm a trap? Like, what would we roll?
Yeah.
You can roll a tinkering check to disarm traps.
Oh, I'm proficient. Also, I have mage hand. I can just open it.
It was
Oh,
gonna be like,
that's true.
if we see where these spikes come out, couldn't we just like lie on the ground and open the thing? Right?
You can try to do that.
Am I understanding? Like we have 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't I just open it safely from 30 feet away?
You're understanding it.
I
That's
really
not
like that
exciting, though.
idea.
That's not exciting, though.
Kinsel, maybe you should back up a little. You look too excited. Too excited.
You're understanding it perfectly. It's literally just a chest with like 2 spikes that are like 5 feet in the air, rigged to kill like a
So
general humanoid.
The traps are over my head.
Yeah.
Hey!
Tink whispers to Anstis, I think he's got a death wish.
Tink and I could just walk in and be fine.
Then
Presumably,
open it.
yeah.
I was just pointing out an obvious flaw in these traps. You just, if you want to try, go ahead and try.
I don't trust it still. I like Tink's idea.
Everyone move aside for Tink. And like
All right.
everyone moves away, but like he's just casting Mage Hand, and then he's
Or like
gonna.
I shoved Kinsel aside, then Tink comes and just shoves both of us aside.
I got this!
All right, you're gonna try and open it with the mage hand or disarm the trap.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know.
The way he said that, I want to get out of the room. I'm just kidding, though. No, I don't. That's up to you, dude. But we don't see an obvious trigger, so like, how are you going to disarm it? You just gotta.
Yeah, I'm just gonna open it.
With the mage hand.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna
Okay, so-
I'm holding my shield up like this.
So everybody is at a safe distance. Tink sort of charges this. It's
Ghoulish.
forgive my saying, but it's maybe a little bit cute hand. Kind of shoots out, and it sort of falls in line with his aura of magic. Would it be fair to say that it kind of has like a green hue to it?
Yeah, for sure. It's. I guess it's cute, but it looks like
No, it's really intimidating and really menacing.
just like the hand in Mario, just like the huge, like. Doom, doom.
Whether or not it's cute or dangerous.
No, but it does have a green hue.
It opens the chest, which is blatantly unlocked, and sure enough, upon the chest's opening, the spikes go out, hitting nothing but magical hand. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in there.
Ooh.
There's
And
it's
that
just-
do we think that disarmed the trap? Like it was a one-off trap, like it goes off once and it's
the
done?
spikes don't suck back in; they're just kind of sitting there.
Okay, so,
So you could like maybe
Alright.
reach below them or something.
Or Tink and I could just walk under them.
Yeah,
that
that's
too. Sure.
All
that
right,
is also true. Presumably.
Okay.
let's see what's in it.
So are you
Okay.
gonna sort of scoop everything out with your hand?
The mage
Your
hand?
mage hand. It's the safest way to do it, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
so
gonna.
Tink sort of plucks the goods out and sort of transports them to the other side of the spikes. And there are some things in there.
What?
Let's go ahead and I don't think Helm's in here yet. Is anyone else not in here yet?
I don't
What?
think so. I think all
Let's
four of us
assume
were.
that the search that was going on in the other room that was filled with bones kind of was going on at the same-ish time. Well, no, we can't do that. Okay, let's just roll our classic loot check. So
Okay.
everybody, just a group investigation check.
Got a 19.
Okay.
I
Got
got
a
a-
15.
I got a big 6.
I got a 16.
Okay. You look in the chest. Morella, you are the first to identify a similar-looking liquid, a fuchsia-colored liquid potion kind of thing that you don't know what it does, but there's a glass vial of fuchsia liquid. There's also a large bag of almost like dice-sized deep amber gems. That's kind of what's taken up the most real estate. Also taking up a massive amount of real estate is a large bag equal in size to these amber gems, a bag of teeth, anything from human teeth to dragonborn teeth to goblin teeth to tiefling. It's an assortment, but it's a very hefty bag of teeth.
Ew.
And the last thing you see is a solid item about this long, the size of a fresh sandwich from Subway. Thanks for the sponsorship. No, the size of like a sub sandwich. Something wrapped in fine leather. That is, you don't know what it is. It's about, it's the size of a delicious Subway sandwich.
Okay.
I have my doubts that is a delicious Subway sandwich.
And that's everything that's in there.
Can we check out what's wrapped in the leather? Carefully.
Sure, of course you can.
I'm
You're gonna check out that Subway sandwich.
Why
So you
not?
open it up, and it is there's lettuce, tomato. It's a full sub sandwich. No,
excellent.
oh no, it is. I regret everything. No, it is a very strange item. It is a long stake. You've seen these often. Stakes used just to like pound tents into the ground, or to pound really anything into the ground. It's this long stake. It's made of silver, and in the stake there's a space kind of in the middle, and running through the stake there is what is running through the middle? Yeah, running through the stake there's a glass vial like embedded in the middle of the stake. So imagine like a stake. It's about maybe 9 inches long, and it's kind of carved out in the middle, and it has a glass tube in the middle of it that is filled with vibrant red liquid.
Huh. Anyone know what this is?
Can we make some kind of roll to see if we know?
Yeah.
Sure, only 2 of you though.
Okay. What kind of roll?
Any kind you want to make.
What?
You can just roll a strength check and be like, can I like...
Can I
Try and
throw it
spot-
on the
No.
ground?
No meta. If no one else grabs for this bag of teeth, can I take those?
Oh my god.
It's weird.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so Kinsel takes the teeth.
I will do a.
Who wants the fuchsia liquid?
I think I have the other one, so I'll just keep them together. Is that okay?
Fine, me.
Yeah.
You guys can
Cool.
spread it out however you want. I just don't want to have to do another... I need to be more judicious about the loot, so... Okay, so Morella has the fuchsia liquid. 2 fuchsia liquids now.
2 fuchsia liquids.
Bag of teeth, Kinsel has. Bag of amber gemstones.
Ooh, pretty.
Ooh, Tink has those.
Okay. And the steak. So who wants to ask about it? Or someone was asking
don't-
about it.
I don't
Can I
know.
roll perception? See if I've ever seen anything like it before, like what it might be. I don't know if that would be perception.
I think history will be more apt for that.
Okay, history's fine.
Can I roll as well? Fine.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to do history?
Yeah.
19 for history.
Nice. Yep.
Um,
That's gonna beat out mine.
You don't, when you think back to your history, you don't really get a lot of information coming to mind with regard to the embedded vial.
Okay. That
That remains mysterious to you and everybody. But you do know you call it an urban legend that silver stakes are meant to kill vampires, werewolves, werebears, jackals, anything. Supposedly, they are effective against those kinds of enemies. That is like classic story time stuff for everybody.
Okay. Well, I'm not
But
sure what the bit in the middle is. No idea what that is. The most I've heard about silver stakes are that they can be used to kill certain types of beings. Werewolves, vampires, and the like.
Is out of character, is like lycanthropes on this world, or are they known of? Or do they roam?
You don't know.
Okay. I was common knowledge or not, you know.
Yeah, lycanthropes we all know in terms of us as people, but you don't know what that. You don't know, like... Kinsel, let me have you make a animal handling kind of history-ish. This is like a Kinsel check with advantage.
With advantage. So I am adding animal handling?
Yeah, add your animal handling. It's like an animal. It's like a beast logger check.
I would roll again, but I rolled a 20.
Ooh.
Hey!
Okay. So you see Morella, she's kind of doing one of these like,
What is that?
and your eye catches a glimpse of the fluid drifting through, and it has a rather distinct hue to it. And you are familiar with the sort of legends of vampires and werewolves and things like that. But the blood that runs inside of it is that of wolf's blood. And you also, Kinsel, with your history, know that lycanthropes are more than a legend. They are out there, and some are unfortunately more aggressive and more angry and more violent than others.
See.
Not all. They get a bad rap, but there are more violent and angry ones than peaceful ones.
Kind of recognizing it's blood.
Blood.
In the vial, yes. If I had to guess, it would have some tie to this wolf, or the werewolf you mentioned.
What do you think it's... That's peculiar. Why would you need wolf's blood and a silver stake to kill a werewolf? Does it enhance the process? Does it...
I'm not familiar with whatever the reasoning is. I can see the tie, though.
Huh.
Is this something I could make a religion check on? Or...
On the item?
Yeah, or knowing about werewolves, silver stakes, something.
Well, yeah, now that Kinsel has said it, yeah, you can do a religion check.
Okay. Oh, 21.
Yay.
Unfortunately, you don't. You sort of categorize it very well, but there's not much religious. There's not much religious sort of matter to it. It's just kind of a natural primal thing.
Okay.
So there's not ties to any kind of religious thing with the lycanthrope in general.
Well, who wants to keep the strange silver artifact?
I can hold on to it.
Sure. Yes, sure.
Maybe Farlong can help me keep it safe.
Maybe. Ooh. Morella seems happy to hand it over to you. Like she's vaguely creeped out by it, and you can tell.
Yeah.
She's just like, she's vaguely creeped out by this.
Okay, so Anstis takes a strange silver stake. And with that, you stand kind of partly as a group in a dark offshoot of this sort of underground ritual room. Bloodied, scaly monsters on the floor. What would you like to do?
Is there still like flames like licking up under the bodies in the other room?
No, that's a good question. The flames actually kind of began to die out along with the departure of the man who was there. So by now, after the fight and the investigation, the flames underneath the grate have sort of, excuse my pun, petered out.
May I suggest that we perform some kind of last rites for these people?
Yes, I think we should get them down and try to get them outside, bury them somewhere.
Yes.
But
were we given a map of the local area? Did Keely give us a map? I feel like she did, but I
You
don't
have
remember.
a badly drawn map of the southern spikes.
Okay, right.
If you remember. By the way, Pete, do you have that?
I think so.
Hopefully you do. Yeah, you have a badly drawn map of the southern spikes.
Would we be able to locate the general area of where we are on that map?
You can glean. You're
Okay.
on the north side. Based on the map you have, you're on the northern kind of tip of the Feather Fawn Wood.
Okay.
Just about to hit the lake.
Well, whenever we head back to... I suppose we can send it with the gull. We should probably let them know to let Zosa know about her husband.
Yes, and that the rest of the research party is also.
Yes.
Helm sort of takes the gull out from underneath like his little cloak, and he says, anyone else besides me speak Arakakra?
No. No, I speak a number of languages, but not that one.
He says, well, just relay to me what you want to say. I'll tell the bird. Using notes, using how birds get sent around here. You got to tell them. They remember.
Impressive. I don't know. This is sort of an awkward thing to have to say to someone. I'm sorry your husband died, and so did the rest of his party. It's not a pleasant message to deliver. And you said we're at the northern tip of the Feather Fawn Woods.
Yep.
And
You're
we're in
right
sort of
up-
like
You're right near the
cave?
lake.
right near the lake, northern tip of the Feather Fawn Woods, and we're in sort of like a caved-in area was what it was.
You're in ruins that are like pretty open, but right now
Okay.
you're in like a basement sort of tomb.
I would say
For the sake of brevity, we can just say Kelm sort of relays the information in a sensitive way
yes.
to the bird.
I'm imagining this bird putting forth emotion. I'm just like, it's not going to matter. He's going to say it the same way everywhere.
Don't we still have to get that door open? Remember the guy
we
cut
do.
the rope?
We got locked in.
But you don't know
we need to
yet.
get
You
out.
haven't gone back up the stairs, so it twists and turns. So you haven't seen the door yet.
Let's go check that out, maybe.
Okay. He cut the rope and okay.
It did. That's true.
Are we getting the bodies first? Or are we checking the door first?
We should probably make sure the door is open so that we can take the bodies out without having to stop and open the
Yeah.
door.
Or someone can just go check the door and the rest of us can work on the bodies.
I'll go check the door.
Okay. Okay. Let's do that.
For those that are looking to the bodies, regrettably, I have to say that they're rather charred. Moving them may
Crumple them.
They might not make the trip up the stairwell. Remember, if you remember, the stairwell was pretty long to go down.
Is there?
The bodies look, aside from the fire ganassi, the other bodies look almost like charcoal.
Is there any kind of fabric around, like any long drapes or anything down here like that?
You see some fabric across the table that the sort of cultist guy was kind of working from. There's some really gruesome tools laid upon the table, just like spiky prodders and things like that. Some cooking utensils like tongs and things that just things you don't want to see next to some cooking people. You also,
Bless you.
you also,
Sorry.
you also see the acolyte guy himself has some robes upon him, some black leathery robes. That's about it.
Okay.
Was there a rug back in where the chest was or something? You said some sort of cloth was underneath the
chest.
chest.
Was set upon a rug, like a carpet.
I'm gonna like go in there and try and grab that carpet.
Are we gonna roll him
and
up?
pull it out.
Roll him up and carry him out?
Pretty
Sure,
much,
yeah.
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 You grab the carpet, no problem.
Okay.
I will help Anstis.
I told
get it all
you.
together.
Oh, whatever.
Meanwhile, Tink goes to inspect the door that dropped, and its kind of crappiness is more evident than ever. You get the idea. Tink gets the idea that this door has not been dropped for a long, long time, and the wood had almost like petrified.
Yeah.
And when it dropped, it actually cracked. So it's there. It's definitely blocking your path, but it's also like you see these natural kind of cracks dripping through it, and you can easily see through it. It looks pretty. Now that it's out of the shadow of hanging above you, it looks pretty rotted.
So can we just walk through it, or are we gonna have to break it?
You can't walk through it, but it looks pretty feeble.
Pretty breakable. Okay. Before everyone comes over, I'm gonna try and break it.
Sure. Roll. Make an unarmed attack roll.
Oh man.
Are you gonna like punch it, or what are you gonna do? You could. Well, what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm trying to like do it. I'm gonna like jump up with both legs and like kick like that with both legs.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
sure.
Do you know what I'm
That's
saying?
like
I'm
the
not describing it
classic
well.
drop kick.
Yeah. So
On
I'll
a
try that.
staircase.
All right, make
Oh
an attack
no,
roll.
that doesn't bode well.
Do I add anything onto this?
Yeah, I mean, if you have either a dex or strength mod,
Sweet. I'll take my dex
I'm
mod.
gonna call it a finesse attack.
13.
Okay, yeah, you hit it. Roll for damage.
Yes. D4 or D8? Did you say?
Roll a d6.
Oh, nice. 5.
Nice.
Okay, so nobody sees this, but Tink sort of ventures up just like a quarter of the stairs, just out of sight of the room, and he sort of leaps to the air, doing the sort of drop kick on the door, and just sort of punches sort of a man-sized hole into the wood, not completely obliterating the door, but definitely creating a space that smaller folk could move through.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to say, hey guys, it looks like someone really strong punched a hole through here. And then I'm going to just like kind of be flexing when they come over.
I'm gonna shout. That's great, Tink. We're a little busy.
Oh.
Down.
Disrespect.
Darn.
D20 despair.
So you guys gather a carpet from underneath the chest. You gather a pelt from underneath the table of torture tools. You scavenge the fine leather robe from the man, and between the other 4 party members, while Tank is dropkicking the door, you manage to wrap the bodies up pretty nicely and sort of rig them up to drag
Out of curiosity, is there any like remaining maybe metal insignia, or is just everything look like crispy ash?
Do you mean of the roasted guys?
Yeah.
Um,
discerning
unfortunately,
thing.
they had been stripped nude.
Oh.
Jesus.
You don't want to be eating any chainmail.
Yeah, we don't see their possessions lying around, right?
Nope. All their stuff, if you recall, is
Was outside.
Yeah, their bags were up there.
I feel
But
like
they were
trying
sleeping
to
in the
eat
nude?
something in chainmail is sort of like you know when you're eating lobster and you it's like that. You
it's
don't
like the
man.
shell.
like with chainmail. You just gotta break it open.
You got a little
Oh my
shell in your scrambled
God.
eggs.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, they weren't. You intuit that they wouldn't have been sleeping in the nude, but they are now.
Oh, Jesus. That's
All right.
terrible. All right, let's give these people like a decent last rites.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, so with the hole that Tink inflicted into the wall, it's relatively easy for you guys to just sort of like push aside the remaining bits of wood to give you passage back up the spiral staircase. So
Good
between
job, Tink.
the party, you haul the bodies upstairs, and there is like a little bit of ash that sort of drifts out from like the carpets, like
Yeah.
the little tube.
Mm.
As you bring them up, it's unavoidable, except for the fire ganassi who was killed, who is more in a like fresh state.
Ugh.
Gross. Gross.
So you get them to the top, and you sort of are hauling them out of this this sort of little tomb. And as you are bringing the bodies out, if you guys will recall, there was a little camp where the party had set up,
Mhm.
Mhm.
just beside the door, about 20 feet off. And as you are bringing the bodies out, you all kind of look over and you see this small figure, almost like a child, sort of scrambling through those bags, those belongings. And you see a big ponytail bun on top, and she's sort of scrambling through things and moving really deftly, really quickly. And as you bring the bodies up, a noise, you kind of drop the bodies, kind of make a little noise, and you see her kind of look up to you, and she has these weird goggles that have like horizontal slits. So like these big giant goggles with these horizontal glowing slits in them, and she kind of looks up to you. And that's where we're going to take our break.
All right.
Okay.
Wowza.
Yeah, we do what we can.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back. I would like to remind everyone at this point to check out our YouTube channel, where all of the back broadcasts can be seen at 20SidedSaga. It's the new name. It's the new brand. Everybody loves it. Okay,
Is that your
so-
NPR voice?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, right?
Our heroes, quite commendably, I should say, brought some charred bodies up from a strange tomb where they did battle. And they are bringing them up to do what, last rites something kind of thing?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're going to eat them just like the monsters were going to.
No.
He wasn't talking to us? I thought he was talking to us.
But there was someone up there when they came back. And now we continue. The party is face to face with a strange woman with weird glasses, goggles, things. She's pretty far away, but you do see her very clearly. It is daytime.
Has she seen us?
Yeah. She, when bringing the bodies up was kind of loud, and she looked up and saw you.
What are you doing?
Come again. She puts a a hand up to her ear.
What are you doing?
Come closer. My hearing isn't too good.
Oh no. Hell no.
We're all carrying bodies, right?
Yeah.
I think we're all dragging them.
We'll need to figure this out because the Minotaur is very huge. Even Kellum couldn't.
2 trips.
Yeah.
2 trips.
Yeah.
I think what's happening first is maybe just the group is just bringing the Minotaur first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best I can do for you guys.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the Minotaur is massive. This is if you recall, the female Minotaur was about 8 feet high, even taller than Kellum. This male Minotaur, who is like a warrior, like a brute warrior, is just absurdly huge. There's no way on earth that the party could carry just him alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys just have him, the charred body of a massive Minotaur. Maybe the horn caught against the stone when you came up, and that was what triggered this what looks to be a child, very small woman. So you have the body of the Minotaur.
I would like to roll an insight check on her.
Okay, what are you checking for?
She wants me to come closer. Frankly, we just got out of a lair with a cultist, and I'm a little bit suspicious right now in general.
So you think that her asking you to come closer is a lie?
I think that what I want to know is if she has ill intentions toward us.
Sure. Yeah. Make
That's
a roll.
what I want to know.
Make an insight roll.
Insight check. What just happened? Okay. What is my insight? Oh, it's good. 23.
You see sort of a twinge in her lip as she speaks. You can't tell whether there's malintent or not, but you do get a sense that maybe she's not being quite truthful.
Can I just investigate to try and figure out if she's really old?
You can only do a perception right now.
Okay.
Because she's kind of far off. You can't
Can
really
I
investigate
attempt to
her.
perceive her age?
Yeah.
Okay. 16.
So Tink sort of squints his eyes, and what you see is you see these weird goggles, these sort of mechanical goggles with these slit eyes, and this big sprout of white hair and a big white bun on top, and just a wrinkly face and like a big nose shooting out from the goggles. And though she does look like a child, and she's sort of like sprouting about from the packs, like digging through them like a quick little kid would, it does look extremely old.
There's something she's not telling us. I just say quietly to my party. If she's really old and she can't hear, then she won't.
I heard that.
Well, yeah, she's probably not telling us. She's looting these packs.
I heard that. I was lying when I said I couldn't hear you.
Yes, no, I kind of figured that. Yes. Why do you want us to come closer?
So I can look at your faces, children.
Forgive me if I don't trust you, grandmother.
Well, I'm not one to be trusted. After all, I've been watching you for a while, just like I was watching your friends before they were abducted and cooked.
And you did nothing to help.
Oh, I'm not much of a helper, just more of a junker.
Is there any place to hide or try to stealth?
Yeah, you're in ruins, so there's a bunch of little stones around and things, but it is, if you'll recall, it's very spread out and not spread up. So there's a lot of like 5 foot little kind of rocks here and there.
Yeah. I just want to try to start creeping around to the other side of her.
Sure. Do you want to actually moving towards her?
No, not closer, just around. So, like, if she
Okay,
tries
sure.
to bolt, I
Roll a
want to be
stealth
there.
check.
Okay, and I'm using my Blessings of the Trickster to take away my disadvantage.
Sure.
Well, fuck that. 9.
Oh.
You see she has this kind of big nose that shoots out from her goggles, and she says, you sort of see her nostrils go. She says, I wouldn't advise trying to attack me. I shall flee faster than you can imagine. I'm not here to hurt you, I promise. I'm just here to collect the loot that I am here for.
What loot are you interested in, grandmother?
She's sort of like stringing out things from one of the packs, and she's like, oh, all of it. I'm a junker. I'm a scrapper. Cloth, coins, wood, anything. I can make use of it all.
Is one thing that you will not take from that pile. Do you understand me?
And of what do you speak?
It is a notebook with a picture of a Minotaur woman in it. You will not take it.
She, before I explain, the way she looks, now that you're sort of coming a little bit closer and she's sort of coming up a little bit closer to you, she has just like a simple beige tank top on and just the simplest of brown pants on. And then she has these 2 massive ropes, like the kind of rope you would see that would hold up like a drawbridge or like that would tie a dragon down. It's just like it's like the width of this mug that go on in like an X around her body. And then she has this massive like brown bag behind her back. And she says, she sort of twists the bag around and sort of fiddles through it. And she sort of flips up the book. Like, let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can pull it off, guys. She sort of goes, bloop. You mean this? And she sort of starts reading through it. She says, you mean this?
If it has the picture in it, then yes.
Oh, you want this back? Well, like I said, you must come closer.
Why? And why should we let you take anything? You didn't do anything to help.
I feel like I helped you kill those guys down there. I'm like
you
a part
absolutely did not.
But it feels to me, I feel like I helped you all. It was like I was a part of the group.
No.
You're very skeptical. What do you call yourself, young lady?
I call myself None of Your Business. Please drop the loot.
That's a long name.
Yeah,
Why are we being so rude?
Pretty great.
I apologize for my allies. They are a little jumpy. We had those nasty things attack us in the basement. You can understand. You are now digging through the belongings of a team that we were sent to search for. I must apologize. I don't think you can take everything. We need to discern what is important, what to return.
Very well, very well. She sort of backs off a little bit and says, I'll leave this with you if it's so important to you. And she sets the journal on like the camp is sort of like horizontal, like little like stumps of wood sort of around in a circle where these guys had been doing the research on the lake. She sort of sets it on the like one of the stumps and sort of backs off, holding her hands up.
How much weight from this Minotaur am I still holding?
I don't know. How much are you guys? Are you guys still holding it, or did you set it down?
I figured we'd set him down.
We should have
That's the only reason I
Are
started
we just
creeping
standing
away.
here holding him?
I figured. So I was like, a weight left behind me, I imagine. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, it's down.
I think you guys set it down gently.
Kinsel will approach for the notebook, and as he does, he says, I am Kinsel, by the way, and approaches for the notebook.
At least one of you has some manners. I'm not trying to hurt you. I couldn't if I wanted to. I just am here, like I said, I'm a junker, I'm a scrapper. I'm here to collect the loot and get rich.
Rich. I see.
What value do these things have? I am confused.
Oh, no
Weapons and
value at
things.
all, no value at all, but a shirt here, a backpack there. These things add up. You'd be surprised.
I see. Well,
I go
didn't-
over and I pick up the journal and I just hold that and I put it in my pack. I
I
check
don't
to see
thi-
if the picture's still in it.
You can't see her eyes because she has these weird kind of glasses goggles on. But you do see her head sort of like pointed at you. But she does have her hand still up. And the photos in there, it's just the way you remember it. A lot of notes, if you recall, about mistrust, bickering. The research party not only did they literally get cooked alive, but they had a bad time even before that.
Okay. I just put that in my pack.
You were watching this group before we arrived. Do you know the monsters that we saw below?
Oh yes, I saw them. They thought they could sleep without anybody watching. They were poisoned, taken down without fight, and when they were destined to be food for creatures. Not a fate I would want to see.
The creatures, what are they?
Oh well, I believe you might be inquiring about the other kind of creatures. These creatures that took these men were some kind of strange beings from the Featherfawn Wood, not the horrifying black ones from the water.
Oh, you've seen them then?
I haven't seen them, but I've heard of them. I've been doing my level best to avoid them.
Fair.
You know, there's a city up north called Eagle's Omen. They say no creatures have attacked it. It's very interesting.
This is curious. Is this farther north than this lake we are nearby?
Yes, you only must go west.
Yes.
You only must go northwest to get there. She's still just standing there, sort of like awaiting your move.
I must feel I should ask. I think we need the other research things back. Any paperwork that you found at this place? I can't imagine you have much need of it, or you would sell for very much. We would need these things to bring back to the town of Okada Bay.
I think you guys already went through the packs for that kind of thing, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, did we actually pull that? Okay.
I'm pretty sure I like looted all
I
of
don't know
that.
if we took any of it though.
You didn't take anything, but you did take the writings of the research party. I think Tink took.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But she doesn't have anything like that anyway. She
Okay.
has only things that could be pawned. So anything that's information based, she doesn't have. But she does perk up and say, "Where is it that you're trying to go?"
Where were we going? The lake?
Southern Sending Spire.
The Southern Sending Spire. That's interesting. You fancy yourself some kinds of heroes? She sort of like grabs her belly and has a little laugh to herself.
I don't know if we're heroes, but we're here to help as much as we can. They say they need the Sending Spire up. We will see what we can do.
And how will you get there? The thing about traveling north from the southern spikes is that there's two ways to go. Both dangerous, of course. But I would wonder which way you lot would go. Not to get yourself killed.
I kind of look back to the rest of the group. Did we decide on a way?
I don't believe we did.
Do we even know the way?
We have
As the party sort
have
of
a map.
looks to each other, she sort of has a horrifying slim grin with like a bunch of like too many copper teeth, and she says, "Don't tell me you don't have a map."
Have a
Ye-
map.
We have kind
We
of
have a map.
We all get defensive. We have maps.
No, we.
Who needs a map?
Show me your map. You know, I don't know if you know, but there's a band of brigands called the Oath. And maps these days are very hard to come by, especially accurate ones. They tend to take them when they take cities. And you lot have a map, even though I was able to sneak up on you with little warning. Show me your map.
You said the maps are rare, so maybe you'll understand if we don't produce it in front of you.
I think she meant like it's rare that there's a map that's like a good map.
Yeah, it's rare that there's a good map.
It's not a very good map. It's a map.
Right.
She, as you guys are kind of looking around and be like, we have a map? Do we have a map? She
Yes.
procures from her giant bag a large leather canister. And from the canister is a rolled, fine, thick leather. And she sort of slowly peels it up. It's like the size of her body. Even though she's a human, she's like the size of a gnome. She's like a teeny little human lady. And she does like a full like stretch and exposes to you all a finely crafted map of the full continent of Enthus. And she says, if you're going to be heroes, you might want something like this. Just to find your way, no big deal.
Completely like bewildered by just the craftsmanship of the map. Tink's gonna like throw caution to the side and just like walk up directly to her and say, let me take a look.
With frightening speed, she like vaults back, rolling the map up, stuffing it back into her pack, and wielding out a little metal rod that proceeds to go into like a bow staff. And she says, I don't want it to be stolen from me, you understand?
Why would we steal it from you?
Well, you killed a few monsters, you killed a few others. I just want to keep my cards close to the vest, you understand? Now listen, I am a gambling woman, and I would be happy to help you on your journey. And I think you need this map more than I do. After all, I do have 2 of them. And she flips out. She has 2 canisters, and she's like just sort of laughing. And she has anything can come out of this bag.
She has like a bag like my grandma has. Like she could pull like a flat screen TV out of there
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be surprised, right?
It's pretty much Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
And we all know, since we all know D&D, we all know what kind of bag it is. She has 2 equal looking canisters. And she sort of flips them in her fingers. And she says, now, if you're willing to play my game, I'll give you a map, which you will need to venture on. Or I suppose you would. I mean, what do I know? I'm just an old lady.
What game do you speak of, grandmother?
Ooh. Now you're tickling my fancy a bit. I like to race.
Race.
Yes.
I've seen how fast you moved just then. I don't think I like my odds.
Well, it wouldn't be your odds. It would be all of your odds. Allow me to explain the wager, if you would. I bet my map that I can beat you all to Listener's Lake. Due north, you all know where you are heading. I'll even give you a 30-minute head start. It's only 2 hours. And, to boot, your big friend there with the feathers comes sort of like... he has like still holding the Minotaur head. He's like... I bet he's a bit slow. Not in the head, but with his... You know what I mean? He will stay with me, making sure I don't cheat, giving you a full head start. So the remaining 4 against me race to Listener's Lake. There's an outpost there. The first one there wins. If you win, I will give you this detailed map of the continent, which is very rare, I promise you. Or, if you lose, I take whatever you took from down there.
If we're racing you there, but Kelm is staying here, who's to say that?
He doesn't count. Theoretically.
Can I roll an insight check on the map situation? She's claiming that this is like...
What specifically do you want to look at?
Well, insight. I just want to see if she is lying about these maps being as rare as they are.
Sure.
If I can. Ooh, 9.
I mean, it's generally hard for you guys to authenticate a map.
Yeah.
So in terms of like seeing a map, you don't have that good of a like, now that's a real map. But what you do have is a sense of her tone and her demeanor, which does seem to be truthful.
Right.
And she seems to be very eager and adamant about doing these little games.
How far are we away from Listener's Lake?
2 hours.
2 hours. And you're just giving us a 13-minute head start?
30... I was giving you a 30-minute head start. I appreciate your little quip there, but a 30-minute head start. So,
Can I take off my armor first? It's a little heavy.
Any advantages you feel you can give yourself, I will welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna take off my armor.
Could you allow us to finish burying these bodies?
She sort of like, for the first time, her posture sort of slouches and she sort of, well, you can't see her eyes, but she sort of moves her head over towards the bodies and she's just kind of like, I suppose. She does like one of those things where you're standing upright and then you drop into like a pretzel style sit and she's just sitting there with her arms crossed.
Okay, Anstis is taking off her armor. I don't know if you guys have ever seen someone take off chainmail, but it's pretty funny. It's like arms over your head, lean forward, and you have to like jump to like pull it off. It's pretty funny.
Kelm sort of
That's what she's doing.
is there to collect Anstis's armor, and he kind of says, bit of a lucky break. She didn't make me participate in this. I might just be the slowest guy on earth. I'll hold your armor for you, and I'll tail her where I can.
Oh, thank you for staying behind.
Was that supposed to be sarcastic?
No, that's just how
Is that
I
some kind of
sound.
butt joke?
No. I'm naturally sarcastic. It's kind of a thing.
Well, I'll see you at the finish line, and I think we do need that map. Okay, so Kelm takes Anstis's armor, looks around. He looks around and he's like ready to be like taking other people's armor, but then he's like, "Oh yeah." How about the bodies?
I think we could just give them like a quick burial, and maybe Anstis could say a few words.
Do some last right things.
I worship a goddess, but this isn't really her expertise, and I'm not a cleric. That's really more your
Well,
area of expertise.
Farlong doesn't generally deal in afterlife or death, but he can help on the journey there and in finding rest.
Well, that's good then.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Kelm comes up to Anstis and says, "Might be a silly question, but what do you believe happens to all these burned up guys after they go?"
What do we know of the afterlife?
What does Farlong believe
in this?
There's the astral plane and the ethereal plane. The astral plane is where souls go. That's like the general school of thought, but I pretty much leave Farlong rules up to you.
Okay.
But generally, souls go to the astral plane.
Mm-hmm. Well, generally when people die, there are different gods in charge of different aspects of the afterlife. While Farlong isn't necessarily a death deity, he is the god of horizons and travel, and part of that comes with the road to the afterlife and traveling to the afterlife. So he can help souls make their way to the astral plane and find some sort of rest.
Kelm kind of has stars in his eyes, and he's like, "Wow, that sounds real nice."
Yeah, Farlong's pretty great.
I hope I can find something like that sometime.
I'm sure you will. Just keep an open mind and positive thoughts.
It's easy to keep my mind open because it's so small.
Oh.
And you guys proceed to lay the bodies nicely, perhaps bury them a bit. Anstis, Morella, is there any further, Kinsel Tank, any further ceremony you'd like to do with these bodies?
No.
I can't think of anything else.
Does anyone want to like pick one up and do like a weekend of Bernie's?
Oh, no.
Okay, so you guys put the bodies in a pretty sound place. You bury them. You put like little pedestals of rock. You're in the ruins, so it's easy to find little things. You put them at kind of the heads of where they're buried, little mounds. Takes a little bit of time as the sun is a little lower. It's about 5 o'clock now.
Okay.
You come back to the campfire, the abandoned campfire, where the old lady Goggles is still sitting exactly as you left her, Indian style, sitting on a log, just like sort of grumbling, waiting for you.
I think we're ready, but before we start, I would like to just say a prayer to Farlong to aid us.
She chimes in and she's like, "Oh my God, are we ever gonna race? What prayers and burials? Okay, go ahead.
You want to gripe some more, or you want to get us going?
If you want me to, I was upset about how long and it took me to get here, and I was upset about how.
Yeah, sounds great.
She runs out of breath.
Okay, good. So that Ansys is just going to say a quick prayer to Farlong to aid us on our journey, our quick journey to this place that we're going.
Okay.
Around what time
Anstis-
does it start to get dark, by the way? Around what time do we know that it's starting to get dark?
It is, in fact, the summer, so it doesn't get dark till late. So, in theory, you should be able to reach Listener's Lake and the sort of end point of the race before sundown.
Sounds good.
Anstis kneels down and says a prayer. And between her last rites for the bodies and her prayers to begin the game, she's going to get herself a nice D8 of inspiration.
Yeah.
Yay.
As you reapproach the... Holy cow, I didn't have music playing for this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, it's me, your dungeon master.
Don't choke yourself.
So, the music begins again. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so you reapproach the campfire. And this kind of old woman sort of pops up off and she says, "You're ready to race now. Now this is something I can get excited about. You're familiar, you remember the stakes, correct?"
Yes.
Everything we found down there in your map.
And don't try to lie to me about what you found down there. I've already seen it.
Ow.
Them goggles. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
She sort of walks up to Marilla, like looking up to her, and she says, "That's for me to know and you to find out, dear."
Creepy.
Whatever you say, grandmother.
"So you will leave your Ornak friend behind. I will wait for 30 minutes, and then I shall begin. Of course, the handicap makes sense. I know the roads. I know how to get there already. But that'll just plenty of time for you all to move very quickly, if you can." She sort of like kerplunks down in the dirt, and she says, "Start at your leisure."
All right. Are you guys ready?
Can we just do like a little huddle?
A huddle.
Okay.
Go.
I don't feel good about this. Great.
Everybody.
Do you guys have any tricks up your sleeves?
I could tomorrow, but not today.
Think of Farlong, god of travel.
He won't help us. What about real tricks?
What?
The most I can give you is that I'm a ranger, a skilled ranger.
So we can't get lost, okay?
No, you can't.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
in theory, nothing that would normally slow our travel, difficult terrain, it shouldn't affect us too badly. I can lead us around it. All right,
let's make
Follow you
haste.
then.
off we go.
Okay, so the campsite in the ruins, just beyond the door to that downward tomb that you just fought at. Maybe you guys aren't feeling quite as fresh as you normally would. Maybe you're feeling slightly depleted magically. Maybe you're feeling slightly depleted physically. But the chance of getting a map of the world, which are in fact very rare, this is worthwhile. So, Kelm stands, arms crossed, meat pulverizer in his hand, ready to bash this lady if she tries anything tricky. And her sitting in the ground with her legs crossed Indian style, just waiting. You guys begin on a dead sprint north, and you know that if you just go north, you'll hit the lake. that's that. There's no map really needed or anything. That's kind of the way it goes. So you begin. The tree line is very sparse. If you recall, you are sort of at the edge of the Feather Fawn Wood. The trees are not sort of clouding up. There's not those mystical fireflies. There's not that purpley gray haze. It's just sort of sparse trees that sort of get yet sparser as you run. So, Tink, Anstis, Kinsel, and Morella begin in a dead sprint, and you guys are running. Everybody roll a dexterity check.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna use my amulet for this one,
Okay.
so I have advantage.
Feeling good. Feeling great.
I see some pain somewhere.
Dude, I just rolled 2 2s.
Dude,
No.
me too.
Natural 20.
Yay!
Oh, okay.
21.
Ansys, put me on your back.
Hey.
Kinsel.
3.
So a 2, a 3, natural 20, and Morella what? A 13?
No, hold on. 18, 19, 21. 21.
Not that it matters, but mine's 3 with my Dexmon.
So you're a researcher.
I'll have you know. Kinsel and I just struggling.
So
The ladies are just like,
the
Carry
four of you
me.
guys.
We're
four
just
of
leaving you
guys,
behind. Eat our dust.
Kelm and
I
the
cast
old
grease.
lady become ants in the distance as you guys just go on a dead sprint through these trees. Anstis particularly looking extra deft, extra spry, sort of like sprouting, like just kind of binging off different paths. Morella always
So
looking,
light.
always looking fast, just sort of taking a direct path, just going, just rushing through the trees. Kinsel and Pete, what'd you roll?
3.
a 3.
Yeah, Kinsel and
Hey. My little legs are running as hard as they
Yeah.
can.
Kinsel and Tink are lagging quite a bit behind at this point. The ladies have just kind of sprouted ahead in such a way that it's hard to keep up with. Kinsel and Tink they just haven't, it's just raw speed. There's not much obstacle right now. This is just a dead sprint. Tink's short legs have not helped him.
I've got short legs too. You have no excuse.
Yeah, but his legs are a little shorter, right?
We gnomes are natural
I don't-
sprinters.
Okay,
I don't know how tall he is.
who rolled better, Anstis or Morella? Oh, you had a natural
Anstis.
20.
I got a natural
She had a
20.
natural
Okay,
20.
so
Yeah.
Anstis reaches a point in the tree line, and you start seeing these little blue floaty thingies
Oh, no.
Like in the air?
in the air, and they seem to be drifting off of this new kind of tree. Though the trees are more sparse than they were in the Feather Fawn Wood, they are kind of new and weird on this edge. And you see these little blue floaty dealies going on. They're rather thick. They seem like they would be hard to avoid, but you don't know. What would you like to do? It's like a field of floaty thingies.
Can we roll to see what they are?
You can roll an Arcana check. They seem to be mana related.
I can't see them yet.
You're not there yet.
Oh no, my Arcana's not good.
Is Anstis the only one that's there?
Anstis is the first one there to do this.
Okay.
She should be right behind me because my speed is only 25.
Speed is not an object in this particular scenario.
Okay. 12.
Okay, so Anstis continues her determined pace through these these things, and she's able to sort of carve a path. Sort of like you see her boots like sort of dig into the dirt and jut and go and zigzag through these things, and she sort of bolts herself through this field of blue drifty thingies, never knowing what they are, but avoiding them nevertheless. Morella, arriving shortly behind Anstis. What would you like to do?
I also want to know what the heck they are.
Sure, yeah. An Arcana check as well.
My Arcana shit. 18, 19. 19.
You know these to be kind of these are spores that come off of sort of these defensive plants that are often planted in places where people don't want people to trespass through. They emanate these sort of explosive spores.
Really?
Yep.
Do they seem to be like all over the place, or are they in one concentrated area?
They're everywhere. But you also know another thing.
What do I know?
Because of your knowledge of these spores, you know that they are more harmful the longer they're alive. So you know that in the low area, they are less harmful. So Morella moves through the zone, moving low, taking maybe but very harmless, just sort of hitting her shoulder pads or hitting her sort of chest armor. She sort of maneuvers her way in, going low. Kinsel and Tink.
Casually walk up.
They're just getting there.
Ooh. This is quite the sight.
It's beautiful.
Oh no.
Should we stop and take a look? Let's just relax.
Let's touch them. Try your best to ignore the knowledge that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll if I can roll a check, I'll roll a check. Let's do that.
You roll Arcana checks to look at these things.
Awful. Nice 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I rolled really well. I rolled a 26.
Nice.
So Tink sort of is following Morella a bit. He's kind of on her heels. He has the exact idea about what these things are, knowing that his height is perfectly suited to deal with this. He actually bolts, catching up with Morella just in a dead line, and taking a couple small little just sparks that maybe burn to the effect of like touching a candle really quickly. Just nothing, no big deal. He's like, his magical knowledge has given him the full confidence to just go straight through the zone. Kinsel, unfortunately, has Can I
describe what happens? As I say, I don't even pay attention to Tink walk off. I'm just distracted by all these lights. Actually, as I approach and one gets close to me, I'll reach out and touch it with my finger.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
I'll give that to you.
Oh, dear.
It's like a bug zapper.
Paralysis.
Okay. So
oh my God.
You reach out and touch one of these things with your finger, and it just explodes and envelops your hand and arm. But luckily,
shit.
because of your training and research with creatures and things of a wild nature, you have actually sort of tempered your skin to this particular magic spore because it is actually of a creature. So you only take 2 points of damage.
Okay.
and now you know to avoid the spores.
Why you gotta keep poking things?
It's in my nature.
I thought
I'm
the poking
curious.
things with sticks was our thing.
Poke things with sticks.
Okay, so back campside. Kelm is standing with the old goggled lady, and almost with pinpoint accuracy, she moves from a pretzel sitting, arms crossed, like sort of mumbling, to like the dust behind her explodes, and she just darts into the forest.
Do we know? Do we all have to get there before she does, or can just one of us get there?
I don't
Just
think we
one of you
determined
has
that.
to get there.
Okay.
I didn't say that, and that's my bad.
Okay.
Just one of you has to get there.
Okay.
So in the early dead sprint, she goes really faster, and now she's and that's where she is.
Does it seem like this is just like the general path, or is there like obviously different ways that you can take?
It's pretty reasonable to think that just due north is the way to the lake because of if you remember, you guys were on a hill when you were at that cabin, and you felt like the breeze and the trees were thinning, so it seemed sensible that straight north was the path to the lake. You could try to veer around if you want to, but it would not be the fastest way.
No, I'm just wondering if I like cast grease somewhere, if it's gonna be like, if that is actually gonna hit her.
Yeah, no, you can definitely do that. This is okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, this is definitely like the path that like
this is obviously the most direct path.
I think you could assume like Morella will lead you in the best way, and similarly, the woman will take the best way as well.
Okay.
So
can you give me the discretion of just being able to cast grease in a very obvious area, or not obvious to see, but like obvious where someone would go, like a very well placed.
Sure. Yeah.
Grease. Maybe worth the spell slot, guys. Maybe not.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so pretty much everyone's caught up to each other, except Kinsel right now. You clear these sort of floating spores, and sorry, for some reason I just hate this song. You clear these floating spores, and you come upon a sort of collapsed ravine, where you see some rocks sort of loosely piled up. It's sort of like a mudslide happened or something like that. You see some sort of really loose kind of gravel or rock or something. It's not very high, but it is intruding upon your path.
Does it count as difficult terrain?
It doesn't really count as any terrain. It's just like a wall of stuff.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
What looks like the best way to get around this?
You can definitely get around it with no problem. You would have to backtrack and sort of loop around, and you could easily just head forward, but it would cost a lot of time.
What about if we could get over it? Can we get over it?
Yeah, you can get over it pretty easily. It's no higher than 9 feet tall.
All right, let's get over it.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys can make either strength jump checks if you want to just try and straight up vault over it, or you can make acrobatics checks if you want to sort of deftly sort of climb.
Parkour.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, exactly.
Parkour.
Kinsel, I'm gonna have a delay on your check.
That's fine.
I also want it to be noted that even though I knew Kinsel was way behind, I still cast it anyway and kind of chuckled to myself knowing he'd go through it.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so the grease spot comes. The grease spot comes. Well, I think that it would be fair. I think that it would be fair to say that Kinsa will know.
You want me to do a perception check?
Just give him advantage on it or something.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I should have swapped the order.
Sorry. I just wanted to make sure that was noted.
Yeah.
17, 18 total.
Okay.
On the dex check to not slip, so should be fine.
I was expecting not to crash into the wall. Okay, what else do we have on the rubble pile?
19. Acrobatics.
Do I have to decide to use my inspiration now?
No, you can add it after.
Okay, I got a 13.
Okay. Tink, remind me what you had
On what?
on this strength or con or strength.
Oh damn! I didn't roll. I got an 11.
Okay, so you guys approach this wall, and everybody seems. You see Tink sort of point backwards, creating this sort of big patch of slick, greasy oil that sort of perfectly fills this ravine that you've come into, and he laughs a little bit, but
just runs into the wall.
He no. He climbs the wall, but it takes him a little longer. So instead of sort of just vaulting it or sort of parkouring up Jackie Chan style, where you go like off one wall and then we all know that. He sort of just climbs traditionally, kind of slowly up the rocks. It's pretty quick. I mean, he's a pretty spry dude, but it is a little bit slower than would be ideal. Anstis, you had an 11, did you say?
13.
Yeah, same's happening with Anstis, except she's a little bit ahead of Tink, so she kind of gets ahead of it a little sooner. Morella, you had like a 20-something?
19, yeah.
You sort of do the Jackie Chan thing, and you kind of do the sort of joop, 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 and you sort of just like bounce off the rocks and straight over the wall, and you are left on the other side of a wall with no other people.
I'm sitting here like, come on, guys, come on, okay. I'm just gonna do okay.
I have short legs.
Kinsel, having run and seeing a familiar sort of bit of grease, identifying it as Tink's spell, he's easily able to just sort of skip over it as he runs. And did you already roll your check for the wall?
I've not rolled a check for the wall, but if I see people struggling on the wall, can I get up like underneath them and push them over?
Yeah, that'll cost you.
At this point, I'm pretty aware that someone's got to fail here. I'll take this one for the team, guys, and I'll try to push the two gnomes up the rest of the wall if I can help them.
Sure, yeah, make a strength check.
My strong suit. Yeah. 7.
Anstis missing her armor, Tink having no armor. The both of you feel a very unfortunate pair of hands sort of just giving you a good squeeze on your butt.
You can do it, guys. Get up the wall.
Helpful butt squeezes.
That should have terrified me. I should get like bonus.
Yeah, do we get a bonus for terrifying us?
That should
go
like
faster.
creep me out so much
you guys both kind of like it. It's like, oh, okay, and you get inspired. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, elsewhere, you see an old lady approaching.
Oh God!
A field of blue explosive orbs.
Run!
Oh dear.
She, very similarly to some of the more adept members of Unit 3, does another kind of avoiding all of them and moving forth yet. and finding herself seeing you all in the deep distance, struggling with a wall.
Oh my god, are we over it yet?
Okay.
Are we still running?
Morella's still going.
I'm going.
We're going to start with Morella.
Okay.
You now find yourself in a flat out plain. Just after the swell, the ravine sort of melts down, and it's just a plain of nothing. You're in a dead sprint. Roll a dexterity check.
Oh boy. Okay. Come on. Natural 20!
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Take that!
Run!
I'm running!
So Morella is not necessarily in a forested area. It's just kind of a mud plain. But she sort of does a little glance over her shoulder, and she sees her party members sort of climbing over her, struggling. She sees Kinsel touching butts. And most importantly, she sees old lady sort of coming
Not today,
coming
Grandma.
up the ravine, the same ravine that she just passed through. And this mud plain is nothing to her, and she just bolts across it. And what also happens for her is she approaches a giant pit, a hole, just a drop off. But she's running so fast and she's feeling so strong that she might feel pretty confident when she comes to it. Let's go to...
Wow.
Let's go to Tink, I think, was the next closest over the wall, right?
No,
I think-
it was me.
It was me.
Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and... I forgot about your oil slick.
Haha! Slip, old
So-
woman!
I'm going to roll that really quick.
Oh, okay.
What do I have to do for that?
DC 13.
Okay, the roll has been made. So Morella's the first over. Is Anstis the next closest to getting over?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of halfway up the wall.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. You you have a strength roll at advantage because you're coming up to the top and things look a little easier.
And it has to be strength.
It has to be strength right now.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna use my inspiration. 12.
Okay, so you sort of claw yourself over. It's a little exhausting, but you're getting there. And now you will face the same mud plains that Morella faced, and you will roll a dexterity check at disadvantage.
Okay, will it take any extra time to cast guidance on myself?
No, you can do that for free.
Okay, guidance on myself. And now I'm rolling. I can re-roll that.
Oh, goodness.
I'm gonna put this dice over here.
No, ones are
Don't
like okay.
Old
No.
tonight.
I'm gonna use my pretty green one. Okay, and then guidance. $22.
Okay, you make good way across the mud plains. You're like in the center,
Okay.
as far as you've come. Tink, it comes to you, my friend. You're on the wall still, I believe.
Yep.
You're gonna have to make a strength check to get that last leg.
That's the face of, do I have to?
Oh no. 11.
Okay. Similar to Anstis, you are able to kind of just and you pull yourself over the wall as well. You sort of you said Kinsel?
Yeah.
You you sort of kind of tumble your way down to the bottom, and you as well are exhausted, ready to bolt across these plains. Dexterity check with disadvantage as you are like, I just got over this wall and now I gotta keep running.
Shoot. 6.
Jeez.
Okay, so Tink is really tired. When he comes down from the wall and has to like keep going, he's like, you see the sweat beads just coming down his little face, and he begins to sprint. And the first thing that pretty much happens is that he steps in a big pile of muck, and his dead sprint is turned into a. He turns into a yanking my foot out of a pile of muck, and that's where Tink is. Kinsel.
Old lady status.
She's really close to you. Like you,
Accepting my loss.
Did she jump over the grease?
she did not. You haven't.
Sorry, Ryan.
You haven't heard what
Sorry.
what she's done with the grease yet.
Okay.
Yeah, if she's like noticeably in my vision,
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to succeed here. I will actually offer her a boost to get up this wall.
Oh,
Okay, so here's the scenario. Kinsel is beyond the grease patch. The lady still has to deal with it.
Okay.
Still want to give her a boost?
you holding your action?
I will hold my action.
Oh gosh.
Do you want to roll like a deception check?
If you want me to roll a deception check, I
I'm
will
gonna
roll a
have her
deception check.
roll. I'm
What
gonna have
are
her
you
roll a
rolling?
perception check or an insight check on you. If you want to roll a deception, otherwise I'm just gonna give it a DC of my own.
Let's do it. Deception check.
I mean, I'm assuming you're not genuine with helping her.
12. I am not genuine with helping her.
You fooled me.
So
I was trying to, but really, kids would be like,
You can do it.
big smile on his face.
She comes out. She comes busting out into this ravine where you guys have kind of struggled maybe a little bit, and she sees this rock wall. She sees a water ganassi sort of there ready to help her boost her up, and she also sees a big patch of slippery, slimy grease.
Damn it.
She just kind of goes. She bolts right over the grease, and she sort of goes, I guess they're trying to stop me. And she looks at Kinsel.
What?
Ooh. Okay. She thinks that you mean it. She thinks to herself, he must be trying to betray his friends. Classic Azalians.
Oh God.
She runs to you, looking to leap off of your hands over the wall in a cool leap combo kind of thing. We'll touch back on that.
Okay.
Boy.
Morella, who is far ahead of the pack now, she, like I said, has encountered a giant pit, a giant gap.
How giant is this pit?
It
How many
is.
feet across?
It's
Like
about.
jumpable?
It's maybe jumpable. It's about 30 feet across. 30,
Maybe
40 feet.
jumpable. Oh my God. Okay. And like, is there any way around it, or like would it be faster to go over?
You look to the left, you look to the right, and you see that you could maybe run to the left or to the right and maybe get onto like a bridge way down the way. But you gather that it would take a lot of time.
Okay, what would I roll to jump over it?
You can use your acrobatics to jump.
Alright. I'm using my lucky dice because I don't want to fall in a hole. Come on.
Sure.
Come on. 15, 19, 20, 21. 21. Whoosh.
Okay.
Nice.
So, I'm really happy that you rolled high.
Oh God!
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh no!
So you leap. Morella has. Oh, you know what? I also forgot. You had advantage because of your natural 20, and you were like firing like at a crazy pace.
I'll roll again. Maybe I'll get a natural 20 again. Natural 20!
Are you serious?
I'm so not kidding.
Wow. Treasure that dice.
Natural 20 again.
So Morella comes bursting out of the tree line, out of the mud plains, almost like she has like cleats on her feet, just like digging through these muddy lands. And she does not stop to assess the even pit. She's just coming at such a clip that she just goes and she just vaults through the air, clearing the whole entire pit, landing on the other side, 3-point landing, and ready to advance yet further.
That was the best rolling I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, that was sick.
Anstis, you now encounter the muddy plains. You must roll a dexterity or constitution, whichever you have better.
Got dexterity. Duh. Can I use guidance on myself again?
Sure. How many slots you got left?
It's a cantrip.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Infinite guidance.
Wow, that's awesome.
Infinite guidance.
Yeah. 14.
Okay, so Anstis begins. She's light on her feet with no armor. She begins to sort of trudge through these muddy plains. She's going pretty fast. She sort of skips past Tink, who has his boot kind of stuck in a hole. He's sort of like, get this damn thing out of here! And Anstis sort of moves past him, but not too quickly. But he's left in the dust.
Wasn't I past him before? I got a 22 last time.
Well, you're in the mud. You're in the mud fields.
You said I was halfway across.
Yeah, you did.
You liar.
Oh, you're halfway across the mud fields?
That's what you said.
Halfway across. Anstis was way ahead of Tank.
Yeah.
My race chart is...
I rolled a 22 last time.
Anstis did make herself over earlier. Okay, so you then must make what do you want to do? This is up to you. How do you want to try to get across the gap?
Said he was glad that I rolled high, so I mean, how are you feeling?
It doesn't look like an easy jump. Like you wouldn't be. It's about 30 feet. You wouldn't be like, oh, I could do this. I could easily. It looks like an impossible jump.
No,
but it's something that could be done. Maybe
Mira's just weird. I don't know what's up with that.
It could be done, maybe, but it looks like a really hard jump. But you're welcome to try it.
I'm probably not going to try to jump it. I'm just trying to see if I have anything that would help me.
I will say that the jump itself, as you approach the ledge, it's not like an abyss. It's like a trench. So like you can see the bottom.
How far down is it?
It's really far. It would probably hurt you a lot.
God damn it.
But it's not like you would go into like, and then you would be gone forever. Like you would land
and
in
die.
A foreseeable place.
But I'd die.
Maybe it's probably like 100 or so feet.
I'd be dead.
Well,
only 10d6. You can do
it. Do you know how many hit points we have? We're level 1. That would kill us.
Foreseeably, it doesn't look like a jump that you would think would be good.
No.
You're not gonna pull a Mira.
No.
Mira's crazy.
Mira is crazy, and I am not that crazy.
Yeah.
You said there were bridges?
Yeah, down to the left and to the right of you.
How far away?
Far enough for them to be kind of shrouded in haze. So you kind of get the idea that if you were to head for one of those, it would probably take 20 minutes or so to run down that way.
Jesus.
About as far as you've come so far. Oh no, that's not true. Like half the distance you've come so far.
That sucks. Yeah, I don't know what to do. How does the other side look? Does it look like if I threw something sharp at it, it would stick?
Yeah, definitely. It looks like sort of a dirt and rock sort of cliff side face. The bridges that are down in either side seem to be sort of stuck into these like side faces.
Okay. I'm going to take my spear and take my 50 feet of hemp rope
Okay.
and tie one end of the rope to the spear
Okay.
and keep the other end of the rope with me. And I'm going to chuck my spear as hard as I can at the other side.
Sure. Yeah. Make an attack roll.
Okay. $20.
Okay. You throw it over, and just like the bridges to your left and right, the best you can gather, it sinks deeply into sort of dirt and rock side, and you gather there's a really strong bit of purchase.
Okay,
and this
so
thing is sunk in.
if I tug it, it's good.
You can you tug it, and it seems real strong. And that's as much as Ansys can do for now.
Okay.
I believe we go to Kinsil.
Young Tink.
Oh, we go to Tank?
Mm-hmm.
I should have done initiative for this. I didn't. Well, I guess depending on who passes who,
Yeah, initiative
it can
kinda
change.
changes.
But yeah, sure. Yeah, Tank, let's go. What do you got?
Can I cast fog cloud on that like pit? I'm like trying.
On the,
Yeah, and
on the like
I'm assuming
pit
this
that
is
Morelli
How
jumped
many-
over.
so.
How
This
many
is like
spells do you have?
so. This is like 4. I have 4 spell slots. So this is like a barren ground, right? And then
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
like a big
an open
muddy plain.
Yeah, can I do that? Is it going
So
to
you wanna
cover the whole
cast
thing?
Fog on the muddy part or the actual pit?
The
that,
pit.
like,
Can it
Morelli
cover
jumped
the
over?
entire pit or no?
Sure. Anstis hasn't crossed it yet. Or do you just want to help hope Morelli goes all the way?
I guess what I'll do then is I'll stay put, and then can I just have like a reaction if I can see the old lady to cast it? I know she'll be able
Well,
to
you
see
can
it.
also just continue on. All you have to do is just make a dexterity saving throw to just get out of the muck. If you want to move forward, or if you just want to play defense, you can do that too.
So you're saying I can attempt to cross it and then cast it? Is that what I'm following?
You could try to pull yourself up. Right now, you're just standing in the muck with your boot in a pile of muck. You could try to just rip it out and keep moving forward, trying to win the race, or you could just stick around. No pun intended.
Yeah, sorry, Anstis. I'm gonna cast fog cloud over it, so it can't be seen.
Okay, so Tink with his boot stuck in a bit of muck. You see a big foggy cloud coming over this big sort of slit in the land, this big sort of hole that just kind of comes into the middle of the land. And Tink continues with his boot in the muck.
But my spear. I can't see it,
Well,
Tank.
you could still see your rope shoot going into the fog.
Yeah, aren't you just
Tank.
pulling yourself up?
Well, we'll see how this goes.
Science this.
Okay, now we're going to Kinsel.
I have two trains of thought on this, depending on how she's approaching. If she is leaping off the ground onto my hand to bound up, I'm doing one thing. If she is like stepping off my hand, I'm doing a different thing.
Okay, yeah, we should do it this way. So yeah, she's running up, hoping that you will boost her up.
Okay. So
I'm gonna roll as if she would intend to do that.
Sure.
Okay, so she rolled great. Assuming that this was like an intended maneuver and you guys were buds, this should go great as far as she is concerned.
Okay. I guess we'll do as soon as it looks like her leg is or her foot's going to get in the palm of my hand. I just in the moment before, is she jumping onto it, or is it like a step?
I mean, did you have your hands like this, right? Like
I'm sitting kneeling. I'm kneeling like this.
Yeah. She's
Okay,
planning.
I'm just gonna grab her. I'm gonna attempt to grab her leg. As she's like leaping off me, I'm gonna attempt to grab it.
Okay,
Oh my
make a
gosh.
grapple check at advantage because she kind of trusted you in this maneuver.
I trusted you.
You shouldn't trust me. I'm a terrible liar.
Watch him roll a 1 and he gives her this mega boost. Like,
It is a total of 12
Oh.
or 13. 13 minus 1.
Okay.
Not very strong.
You don't necessarily like grab her in the traditional sense, but you definitely like get a hold of her ankle, and the whole maneuver is foiled as she's like, and you just kind of yank her leg, and she sort of like spills back downward to her dismay.
Yay!
Oh dear.
Oh,
Oops.
No.
Oopsies.
Whatever have I done?
Okay.
you were supposed
So-
to jump.
She's going to make a strength check to unrest herself from you.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and do a strength contest, shall we?
Yeah, I'm great at these. Let's do it. A 3.
Wow.
So, while the plan was helpful, she is able to release herself and begin climbing this pile of stones with the utmost dexterity.
All right.
We're going to go back to the front of the line where Morella is just sprinting forth. You've now entered a zone that seems very familiar to you. It just seems like low trees, little shrubs, little kind of sprouty little, tree. It looks like a friendly place, and you're sprinting. You're in like a mission, and as you start running, you see these kind of floaty sort of women. They're sort of nude and smoky, and they sort of come towards you, and they start offering things to you that are of interest to you, whatever it is that's of interest to you. And they start to say, "Oh, come over here. They have candies and drinks and all of this." And they're sort of beckoning you out. You're gonna have to make a charisma saving throw.
Who is experiencing this?
This is Morella. She's at the front of the pack, running through sort of a strange bit of ground here.
Charisma saving throw?
Charisma saving throw.
21.
Wow.
So
I rolled a
they
19.
start to
Just
they
keep
start
rolling.
to say, "Come to us. We have your stepmother over here. Come to us." They seem to tap into your deepest fears and your deepest
great.
wants.
Thanks.
And
Thanks.
you see like this bullet path of Morella start to sort of go, and sort of cranks off a little bit, but her mind stays steadfast, and she sort of corrects her path, and she sort of shakes it off and heads straight on through.
Mm. Mm-mm.
Okay. Anstis is at the pit with a rope and a spear and a big thing of fog in front of her.
Just where she wants to be.
Anstis is going to grumble and curse the name of Tink. But then she's going to find something to tie the rope to.
Oh, to like tie the rope to the rope?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
she's
sure.
not just gonna jump off Batman style. It's not gonna fly.
Jump off a cliff.
Absolutely
yeah,
not.
okay, sure. And what's she gonna do after she finds a thing to tie the rope to?
Is there a rock or a tree? And then
There's some rocks. There's not trees. It's just like a mud kind of flat that's just sort of been cleared of all plant life. But there are rocks and things that you can sort of fasten, like you could make a stake or something into something.
okay, I do that.
Okay. You've now created a very taut and firm rope line over the hole, but it is covered in smoke.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I'm going to use my shield and kind of put it over the rope line and hold it by the straps and do like a really awful zip line.
Okay, sure.
And hope that I don't die.
Oh, don't die.
So are you like kicking off and like trying to slide on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's not like
It's not like
they're
a down.
higher
It's
than
not at an
it's not
angle.
like it's higher one place and lower the other where you can slide down. It's like pretty equal space. So
Balancing
you would
act.
have to give yourself a little kick.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna do that as far as it'll take me, and then I'll just like try
shimmy
to-
the rest.
climb across the rest of the way.
Yeah, make a strength check to see how far you can push yourself across this makeshift zip line.
Okay. Also, I'm sorry, I'm preoccupied. There is a cat sitting on my character sheet. Am I still doing guidance?
Yeah, if you want to do guidance, I'm gonna say that you have to say guidance before from now on.
Okay.
I think that would be fair.
Okay. So that is a 12.
So Anstis takes her shield. She sort of loops it around the rope and gives herself a big push off of the side of the cliff. And she sort of finds herself swinging and hanging by her shield in sort of the middle of a big pile of smoke. And she doesn't know how far she's gone across just yet.
You didn't fall.
That's true. Okay, Tink has his boot in some muck, and he has some smoke in a sort of distant gulch kind of thing, and that's where he is.
Can I try and move towards the pit? Like, am I just stuck?
Yeah, make a dexterity saving throw to just release yourself from this muck thing.
Yeah, 6.
Tink, as his boot is just stuck in this hole, he just can't get it out. I'm gonna make another dexterity saving throw.
Tink, under his breath, curses at Kinsel.
What did I do?
Just touching his butt. It's like this this like spread of blame that we're spreading down the line. I rolled a natural 1.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No.
Okay, so Tink elects. This check was meant to allow you to decide that maybe you just leave that boot and you continue running with one bare foot. Tink elects to do that, and he proceeds forward with one bare foot, and instantly out of when he yanks his bare foot out of the boot and he's ready to go, he's like, okay. He instantly steps into another puddle with his bare foot. even deeper and worse than the other.
Jesus Christ!
Kenzo!
Why are we all blaming each other?
Okay. Kinsel now. No. Yeah.
lady. Oh, okay.
I look kind of flipped at some point, but yeah, let's have.
Yeah. And just in this moment, I've lost. Like, I know I'm not going to win. I am like take a moment to look like sadly at the bag of teeth. I strap him to my side, and then I begin to try to climb up this wall.
Okay.
I don't know if there's much of a precedent to roll. If you want me to roll, I can. But
you are gonna make an athletics check.
All right, let's do it. Not could be worse. 15.
Okay, so Kinsel gets his wits about him and begins to scale the small wall rather quickly, right on the heels of the old lady.
All right.
Speaking of, she begins her sort of trek through these mud fields. She's dropped to the other side of the wall, and again, you see when she gets her feet into the solid ground, it kind of goes, and she sort of explodes outward through the mud fields, much like Morella looked like when she was running across them. She begins to go across them, and she passes Tink with an aggressive fervor, approaching the smoke cloud. She's going to make a perception check to see what she sees out of this smoke cloud, spear, zipline, tightrope scenario. So she approaches the smoke zipline tightrope scenario, and she thinks to herself, and she says, "Making it easy for me, huh?" And she sort of just right across the rope that Anstis threw, past her.
Oh my god.
How is she moving so fast?
She's fast. Same way. Okay, so we're going back to Morella. She is smelling the breeze and the dirt and the normalness of a non-forest world as she approaches the lake. She can actually see on the horizon a very small, sort of shambly little outpost. At this point, she knows that she's out of Featherfawn Wood and is at Listener's Lake. But she still has to.
I got there?
She still has to run. She still has to get to the outpost.
Oh, okay.
So you're in pretty much. The trees have died down. They're just one here, one there. It's pretty sparse. You just have to make a dexterity check. See if you get there.
Sorry.
I think the cat wants you to get there.
He's inspiring you.
For the kitty. I will do it for the kitty. You said dexterity check, not a saving throw?
Yep, a check.
22, I think.
Yes.
22, yes. That's plus 3. 22.
Aside from being assaulted by a giant black cat, Morella sort of actually just jogs into this outpost. She just kind of jogs in simply. There's not much to it. She has a great bearing of who and what's behind her, and she kind of just jogs in. Maybe a little bit, like a couple of beads of sweat, but not too many. She doesn't seem very exhausted. She just made short work of this whole thing.
That's the best I have ever rolled in my entire life. Ever.
What follows is the party making their way somehow, some way.
Can I just be,
Anstis
like,
is so
sitting-
pissed.
Can I just be like sitting down and like cleaning out the underside of my fingernails, like with the blade of my short sword, just be like picking out like dirt and stuff like from my nails?
Yeah, of course.
That's what I'm doing.
So Morella gets there real fast, like really fast. The next person to get there is, let's actually, between Tink, Anstis, and Kinsel, let's roll some dex checks.
If I can, unbeknownst to the cursing, can I help Tink out of the mud?
Yeah, of course.
So what does that mean for my roll? Anything?
I'm gonna say that this helping will get Tink advantage on his dex check for this final thing, and it will get Kinsel a disadvantage.
All right, I'm in.
15.
Natural one. Oh my god.
Who
That
got a
brings me
1?
to I got a 1.
No way.
Brings me to a total of 2.
Anstis,
We've
what
rolled
did
a
you have?
lot of ones.
So I just,
got a
like-
22.
Push Kinsel
okay.
down and like step on his body.
So the first thing, Morella, you're kind of sitting down, picking your nails a little bit. The first thing you see is an old human, tiny little lady running through, and she actually looks a little bit winded, and she says, "You bested me, half-elf. I didn't think you could actually run this fast. Nor could you make it through the remainder of Featherfawn Wood. Well done."
Thank you.
And she gives you an uproarious clapping.
Thank you, grandmother.
Next into port is Anstis, just behind the old lady. She was moving rather quickly as well, with her armor.
Because I was so
With
mad.
her armor-less self, she moved real quick through the obstacles as well.
The strength of my rage.
Everyone's just swearing at someone tonight. They're just like, "Damn you!"
There's a big bit of time that goes by after this group.
I get his boot that he left behind. I'll pick that up too and bring it with me.
I'm just imagining the funniest thing. Like you pull one of them out and the other falls in the mud, and then you pull the other out and the other one falls.
You
Goes on and on.
Tink shows up finally. It's probably 20 minutes or so later.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
We didn't cross across that pit. Not with these rolls.
Yeah, I guess we probably didn't.
I mean,
Oh no,
keep in mind,
I
keep in
took
mind
my
that,
spear back. I didn't leave it there for you.
keep in mind that after the pit, you did have to deal with charming demons and.
Ooh, what were my demons saying to me?
Do you want to know?
Ask
Yeah.
what those- yeah.
I mean, generally, it's kind of just one of those meta things where it's like
The
it's
same.
telling you what you wanted the most.
Yeah. I was hoping you would tell me what I want the most.
It did not
Yeah.
tell me what I wanted the most. It told me what I was scared of.
You want a burrito with extra cheese? Come to me.
Tink's like, yes!
Sounds good.
The demons weren't quite as like adamant after Morella kind of passed through. They were kind of like, ah, shit. Well,
They're just there for this race. They're like, well, we'll wait for the next one.
they were just there, and then like when one person defeated them, they're like, well, fuck. No, they were kind of telling you things that sounded appealing. That's what I'm going to say about that. So Tink shows up, one boot less than he started with, and showing up finally, bringing in the rear, unimaginably, is Kinsel and Kelm, who is just kind of trailing along way from the start. Like Kelm was literally just like walking behind, just kind of like making his way. Like
I hope Kelm because I imagine I'm moving much slower than Kelm, so I hope he matches my pace. Like he has the sympathy to get past my pace.
Well, once he reached you, you guys kind of worked it out together
Okay.
the rest of the way. And just like that, you guys all reached this little outpost city in, still technically in Featherfawn Wood. You're at kind of an outpost, almost a shanty town, but you can barely call it that. You see a couple of docks that kind of go into the lake. There's a couple of sort of tented up stands with people sort of barking goods and things. And there's a giant commotion happening over near one of the tents, like people yelling and raising their fists. Ah! 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 Can't tell what that is. And generally, it's a really small little outpost. There's not a lot to it. But the old lady, continuing to catch her breath as everybody arrives, she says, I may be a junker, I may be a scavenger, but I am a lady of my word. And she procures a large cylinder towards you all and sort of leans down and sort of pushes it towards you guys.
I'm gonna nudge Morella.
Yeah, I'm gonna gesture to her.
Oh, did we lose?
Oh no, it's this thing again.
Did we lose her?
Emmy, we can't hear you.
Oh,
We can hear you.
It's the thing of when it goes quiet for 10 seconds and then works.
I don't understand why it does this. I just said okay, and then I would take the map.
Okay, so Morella takes the tube containing, presumably, the map.
Presumably.
Presumably. You've been handed a tube. It feels heavy.
I'm gonna check just because first of all, I want to know what's in there, but also I want to see what it looks like. Like, I just want to see what the map looks like.
Sure. Morella takes out the tube, and just like you were shown, it is a large slab of fine leather, and to it is sort of riveted these bolts that connect a big fine piece of parchment, which appears to be a full map of the entire continent of Enthis. And let's go ahead and see if this works. Is everyone still in roll 20?
Mm-hmm.
See it.
See it.
Ooh, yay.
Pretty.
So you now have a full map of the continent, which is... Pete, do you want to go back to the battle screen just so we can...
yeah, I'm editing it now because it's...
Oh, is it a little screwy?
yeah, it's a little...
Yeah, if you just want to do the battle screen and just kind of show the map so that people have it. And for those watching at home, I'm going to put the full map up somewhere. If you are just on the YouTube channel, I'll probably have it linked in the video that you're currently watching. Or I'll just have like a Imgur link for you. So, yeah, good stuff.
If I can, I just say I apologize for attempting to trick you earlier. I can understand wanting to win.
She laughs and sort of looks up at you with her sort of weird slitted goggles, and she says, "Hey, no problem at all. I've raced many people that have tried to foil my advances in many ways. What do you call yourself, handsome?"
Oh my.
I am Kinsa. I don't think we ever got your name either.
Oh, yes. Well, you can call me Edeline. And don't call me Edeline the Cut Purse. That is a misnomer if ever there was one.
I will not call you Edeline the Cut Purse until I see you cut a purse.
And don't write it down in your journals or anything that you might be keeping about me either.
All up here.
She sort of hikes her pack back up onto her shoulders, and she says, "Well, I've places to be. I really wanted to have a bit of fun with you all because I thought you looked capable. I'm heading north. Just if you're ever in Greycore, be sure to look me up." And she sort of slithers off in a weird run in a sort of haze of fog.
So long.
And she notably heads west. You're right on the lake right now, so all you see in either direction is lake, pretty much. And she heads up the western side of the lake.
Did any of you run into those wispy, smoky-looking women?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're there. Yes.
They told me they wanted to give me a bowl of chili. I was like, what kind of chili can a ghost make?
Wait. They asked you about something that you liked?
That's right. I mean, I think I like it. Yeah, I do.
Did all of you get asked about something you liked?
I didn't get asked about chili, but I got asked about something. Yes.
You guys are. Here's what I'm going to say about this. You can keep this private as your. You can keep it private as your characters, or if you want to share it as your character, I can shed light on it.
Shedding light on? I'm sorry. I feel like I missed what was it.
Or description.
If you want to be like, I'd rather not say what they said to me or something. You could. That's fine. Or if you want to say what they said to you, I can sort of enlighten that idea. But generally, the idea is that they offered things that sounded good to you, or something that you might want, or something like that.
Morella looks troubled. She just looks troubled.
Insel is enamored by the lake.
Your conversation is almost deafened by the commotion of circled up people, not but 100 feet from you. It's just kind of like, yeah. It's, even though the village, or it's not even a village, it's just like a little outpost, even though it's really small, this gathering of people is pretty big and it's pretty loud as well. And you see some people sort of flocking into it, some people leaving it, but it's pretty loud and it sort of muffles some thought.
And at this point, we're decently into the night, right? Like, what, 10-ish?
No, you're actually not that too far into the night. It's just sunset. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we
left
went
at
pretty
5.
fast.
Yeah,
Well,
you guys, I mean, what
some
you,
of us.
What
Some
you,
of
You
us.
should race everywhere.
yeah, what you guys just did was a really, I mean, you pretty much just ran a marathon. So
Okay.
yeah, it's about 7 or 8. Sun's setting. It's definitely it's twilight.
I will ensure that Tink has his boot. I just kind of hand it to him absentmindedly, and I will approach whatever this commotion is. Curiosity.
Kinzel the boot bearer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was cheering for you ahead.
I
Hoping you'd catch
appreciate
up.
it. Thank you.
Kelm will follow Kinsel, interested in the commotion as well. The rest of you guys are kind of staying away, just hanging out.
I'm gonna stay put. I'm pretty gassed. I'm gonna sit down and just kind of veg out for a second and look around.
Okay, yeah, sure. You're in a pretty big clearing. It's just like a big bit of dirt and mud on the shoreline of the lake.
Is there like a building? Is there like a tavern?
There's no buildings, but there are little tents, a couple of little tents and docks. This is like a tiny little outpost. So there's like a few tents, a couple of people, a couple of docks, and that's about it. But you're about like 50 or 70 feet away from that.
Is there like a clear group of people sitting around a campfire? Or like, is there looking like, are people hostile? Are they like, I mean, it sounds like there's a ruckus. Are people, is there like a more like...
Everyone's kind of gathering around this commotion of whatever it is, but there are a couple people like manning the little tents and little stands.
Okay, so this is like a big commotion.
There's nobody gathering around doing campfires or anything like that.
All right. Well, if it's a big commotion, I'm sorry. We just wasted 3 minutes of our time, but I'm going to follow if it's that big of a commotion.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, Ansys is gonna follow behind Mira.
Okay. It's pretty hard for Anstis and Tink initially to see because it's like packs of people. So they can't really see right away. But eventually they kind of get their bearing and kind of are looking through people's feet and things. And there's some halflings that have sort of snuck through, some gnomes. Morella, Kitzel are kind of tippy-toeing, kind of trying to see what happened. And Come just looking forward normally. And you see 3 different wooden tables in a big giant circle. And what's going on at these tables are a familiar game called Arkaze being played. And you see just these massive amounts of money being dealt. And there are 2 tables that are farther from you that don't seem to be of note. They're kind of just doing their own thing. But the table that's closest to you seems to be the table of interest. And what you see is a giant gray-skinned orc with this burly black hair in a big like top knot and a big beard, and he has a person in his fist, like lifted by his armor, and you just hear him shouting, and you hear the crowd just being like, yeah, got him, yeah, and you hear him lifting up. He'd be like, "You call yourself Koga? You're nothing but a cheat." And from the guy that he's lifting up, you hear him say, "Relax, man. I beat you fair and square." And someone comes in, some kind of an official, kind of like a referee, and he puts his hand down on the table on the mana marble, and he looks up and he says, "It's true. I was monitoring the magic, and he beat you fair and square." And he sets the person down. And as he sets down, you see he has this black combat vest on, a short fire ganassi with spiky red hair. And he sort of cracks his neck and he scoops in a bunch of winnings. And he sort of gives a little sniff and he goes, "Yeah, the losers from Unit 3 didn't think you'd make it out of the forest." And that's where we're going to end.
That kid.